Hello and welcome to a balmy and humid South London. We're at the People's Ground for a mouth-watering clash between the two standout teams in this year's competition. 18 wins from 23 games between them. They are the dominant white ball outfits of the South Group, occupying the top two spots. And don't be fooled, just because the qualification for the last 8 has already been guaranteed for both of these teams, there's more than bragging rights to play for. There's every chance that these two will yet meet further down the line. Without further ado, we're going to head down to Sam Keir, who has with him Lewis Gregory and Sam Curran for the toss.
Time for our second toss of the day. We have the usual people out here. Our umpires today are Hassan Adnan and Mark Newell. The match referee is Jason Swift. We've of course got our two captains from Somerset, Lewis Gregory, and from Surrey, Sam Curran, and two more special guests who you will have recognised from our first game of the day. We're joined once again by Ellen and by Arthur. Sam has got the coin and he is going to toss. Lewis is going to call.
Tails.
Tails is the call. Tails it is. A few laughs here because Sam's tossing has not gone very well so far this season, which means, Lewis, you've won the toss. What are you going to do?
We're going to have a bowl.
Somerset winning the toss and having a bowl. You're thinking for that?
It's something we've done really well throughout the competition. It's obviously a used wicket, so I think it's not going to play quite as well as normal, but it's still going to be a pretty good wicket. So hopefully we can bowl really well, restrict them, and hopefully bat well second dig.
Obviously, things have gone very well for you so far in this campaign. I guess you'll be looking just to continue that momentum in towards the quarterfinals.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's the two best teams in the competition tonight, so it's going to be a great game, and we're obviously looking to continue that momentum over the next couple of games. Obviously, a big break before the quarterfinals, but we obviously want to win as many matches as possible.
And regardless of what's going on in the table, there's always a bit of tension. Surrey and Somerset, it should be a cracking game.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had some thrillers over the past. We've had some unbelievable contests, so I'm sure that'll be no different tonight.
Any changes from the win against Kent?
Yeah, we've got a few. Tom Banton's out with a broken finger, so Tom Lammonby comes in. Then we're playing an extra spinner, so Leachy's in, and also Miggy Pretorius gets a game. Good
stuff. Go well. Thank you very much, Lewis. Sam, we'll have a quick chat. Sam, what would you have done?
We were actually going to bowl first as well, and haven't won many tosses this season, but we're winning some games, so that's all that matters.
That is the most important thing. Talking of winning games, how about Friday night?
Yeah, incredibly special. Those games don't come around very often. To be 15 for 3 chasing 220, and Dan Lawrence's knock was one of the best I've seen here at the Oval, and obviously Tom, that partnership of 140 for that kind of 5th and 6th middle order is pretty incredible.
And just as the captain, what did you say after that game to the guys?
Yeah, I think it's that's a really good place to be when you're actually winning games where you feel like you're out of it. I did feel we let them have a few too many runs with the ball, but that just shows the class that we had. Dan's obviously had an injury start to the blast, and he's come and done really well. And obviously guys like TC, the middle order, they haven't had much of a hit. So for them to come out and do that type of knock it's a huge confidence booster for the group. And to play Somerset today, a quality side, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, top of the table clash, and a lot riding on it, because if you guys win today, then that's the quarterfinal quarterfinal berth booked, and I'm pretty sure it would be a home quarterfinal as well. So a lot riding on today.
Yeah, me and Bats have been quite clear on taking one game at a time this year, and I think we know it's a top of the table clash. We've had some great clashes at Somerset over the years, and fingers crossed today on a nice sunny afternoon we can put a show on for the crowd.
Any changes for you? How's Laurie, for example?
Yeah, unfortunately Laurie's got a slight injury on his finger. Obviously last game he's going to miss out today, so Ben Folkes comes in for his first game this season, and Reece Topley comes in for Nathan Smith.
Lovely stuff. Thank you very much indeed, Sam. So there we go. The toss done and dusted. Somerset winning the toss. They're going to have a bowl. So we've got about 25 minutes to go until we get underway in our second match of the day. Before that, though, coming up very shortly, we've got something a bit different as part of our family day on the big screen. It is the Cricket 24 Xbox Challenge. Look out for that in a few minutes' time.
So there we have it then. Somerset have won the toss and will bowl first. And without further ado, we're going to rush to the teams because the players are already out. The mascots are waving their flags as well to usher in the start of this one. And so Surrey first up. Will Jacks, Ryan Patel, Jason Roy. That's one hell of a top three. Sam Curran, the man in form. Dan Lawrence at 5. Come off the back of an extraordinary 120 not out on Friday night. Tom Curran, Jamie Overton, in the engine room. Ben Folkes in for his first T20 game of the year. And then the bowlers, and Surrey and Somerset, of course, Will Smead, Tom Lammonby, Tom Kohler-Cadmore, Tom Abel, Sean Dixon, Lewis Gregory, Ben Green, Lewis Goldsworthy, Miguel Pretorius, Riley Meredith, highest wicket taker in the tournament, and Jack Leach in for his 8th T20 of his career, which is a signifier that this pitch we are anticipating may well take some turn. We saw it earlier this afternoon in the corresponding game between the two women's teams, and Danielle Gregory was outstanding, 4 for 13 with her leg breaks. Adam Zampa would have been watching on with interest. Surrey's superstar leggy will be looking to get going this afternoon. He will be into the piece in the second half of this one. But as I say, seeing Jack Leach in that first 11 for just his 8th game is an indication that we are expecting this pitch that looks dry. I mean, we are in the midst of almost a drought really in London town at the moment, and so it's expected to be very, very dry, hardly any moisture, bit of green on that surface as well, and we are playing on the same track as we played on earlier in the piece for that women's game. And so intriguing, this game between perhaps the two most standout sides of the competition so far. 18 wins from 23 between them, and Somerset, well, they are almost a phenomenon in T20 in recent years. 3 consecutive T20 finals days, winners in 2023. And it's going to be Jack Leach to get us going. Ali Brown is alongside me. And so, Ali, already an interesting tactical development. Jack Leach, rarely seen in white ball cricket, and especially in the shortest form, but he's been given the new one from the Vauxhall end.
Yeah, look, it's something that isn't used as often as I think it should be. I think you asked the question of the opener, are you going to be aggressive? Sometimes a lot of players take a ball or two to get used to the surface. We saw earlier in the women's game, plenty of turn. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in this first over.
So long off posted, and a man at deep mid-wicket. They're the only two outside the circle, of course, in the opening 6. And so a tight ring field on the offside. And Will Jacks can't penetrate it first up. So an intriguing subplot already here. 2 red ball England spinners up against one another. Fellow tourists. Jacks down straight away and making his intentions clear. Bounces in the gully, I fancy, certainly not to hand, but that was a good 12 rows back. So straight away, Will Jacks stamping his mark on the afternoon. Glorious shot, was in the slot, advanced down, got to the pitch, opened the shoulders and smashed it. Pressure on Leach already. Beats him, there is the turn.
Good start from Will Jacks. That's what you want. You want a boundary off the first over from the spinner. Gives you a good chance of getting 9 or 10 off the over. But you've seen a little bit of turn there. But that was that 6 was quite a long way back. Great shot on a good surface.
Punched into the gap. Sean Dixon does well to keep it down to a single, and so it will bring Ryan Patel onto strike. He's been slotted in top of the order in recent games. Ferocious batting lineup that Surrey can boast, with Daniel Lawrence in at 5 behind Sam Curran, who indeed is in form himself, and Jason Roy at first drop, now ensconced at first drop. They just keep on coming at you. Tom Curran, Jamie Overton as well in the engine room, and then Ben Folkes in for his first game at number 8. So they can afford to play with great freedom throughout. Short punch into the onside, he'll pick up a couple.
playing on quite a long cricketers pub side, isn't it? So I think there could be a few 2s or 3s there today. There's quite a change in the ends. I think if you go towards the Archbishop Tennyson side, that's where I think you'll see a number of the boundaries. So if you're looking for a keyer catch, I'd be going to sit over there somewhere. But yeah, quite a decent boundary as we go towards the gas holder side. And as I said, I think we'll see some potential 2s and 3s in that corner if the players can find them.
That's a good point, actually, and the boundaries are stretched far. Sometimes you see them in a little bit more than this, but we're using basically as much of the playing surface, playing arena as we can here. So, after Jack Leach's first over, gets away with it. Probably take 9.
I think that's a standard return, isn't it? 9 for 0. Both sides will be reasonably happy with that. It does ask the question. The spinner comes on basically because you're trying to pick up a wicket if you can, and see how aggressive the opening batsman can be.
It's going to be Riley Meredith then from the pavilion end, and the standout bowler in the tournament this year. And that's bounced just in front of Tom Kohler-Cadmore, and he's fumbled it, and it does run away for 4 wides first up. Frustrating. They pride themselves on the details to Somerset. Died on him a little bit, but he'd have fancied getting enough on that. Just bounced in front. It's an awkward one at ankle height.
That lack of bounce will be what the batters will want to see as well. Hopefully, he's got a lot of pace, Riley Meredith, and I think if it does stay a little bit low, hopefully be picking off the pace towards the leg side.
Now that's where he gets it going, because Riley Meredith, he bowls that back of a length with good pace, and he lives on that length. It's very, very hard to get away. Hard to get under it. Skids on at you as well. He's been a real star all year. 27 wickets, top of the tree, 3 clear of Ben Sanderson in second place, and Hassan Ali running in hard. And that's cleared. Kohler-Cadmore again. Buys this time, real pace off the pitch. Manages to get something on it, the keeper, but not enough, and it runs away again. So 8 sundries already inside just 2 legitimate deliveries. He may have to reposition himself here, the keeper.
It's gone through with good pace. Peter Bonetti been happy with that, who's kept here in the past.
Is he?
Yeah.
Well, there's a story. Come back to that. So just taking half a step back, the keeper. Short again. Jack's advancing. He's actually been clanged, I think, perhaps on the bottom hand here. Maybe on the forearm of that right arm. Yeah. Went down immediately and then called for some assistance. He's in some discomfort here. Where did that hit, Ali?
I don't know. I thought that could potentially be right elbow. But obviously bowling at the pace that Riley Meredith bowls, if you do catch bone, it's going to be very painful. I think the fact he called straight away would indicate what you get when you hit there. Sometimes it just numbs if you get caught towards the elbow. The elbow sometimes isn't necessarily a bad place to get hit. You get about 30 seconds of pain and then not too bad. But if it's forearm, then that could be more troublesome.
Yeah, so it's the right elbow, so on the back arm in effect. Seeing Shubman Gill back this summer actually, and him wearing just venturing to my left arm. Yeah, on the right elbow, the back arm, and he has more padding there than he does on the front arm. Guess it's for that delivery that just kicks from nowhere, comes through the gate. and crashes onto the back elbow. That's what's happened here to Will Jacks. He looks okay though. Get himself together.
He's just trying to create a bit of room, hasn't he? And Riley Meredith has followed him, hitting the wicket quite hard. Obviously, there's a lot of pace on the ball, but I'm sure they'll find some high-numbered Brufen to take away the pain.
So, Jacks is going to resume. Good news all round. So it's been an action-packed start. Four wides. A quick bouncer that's flown over Kohler-Cadmore's head for 4 more sundries. And then a clatter into the back elbow of Will Jacks. What's he got now? He beats him all ends up with a Jaffa. What a start. 88.9. This is high class by the Aussie.
He's hitting a very good line, isn't he? I mean, you can tell by the field, any width at this pace is going to rocket off. But he's bowled a little bit of shape there. Will just trying to give himself a little bit of room, but there isn't much room to be had on the offside.
Yeah. That would have beaten Bradman in his pomp, that one. So, and again, it's on that back of a length, heavy ball, nasty really into the body. So, Jacks, you can say, survives. 17 for no loss. It's all happening here. It's going to be Ryan Patel to face up. And it's Jack Leach, after just the 1 over, is going to be rested up. This is the way of it, especially in the opening 6. Teams as well drilled as Somerset, they tend to change it up over by over.
It's certainly a policy I like to see, a 1 over from the spinner. I know going back, Robert Croft was one of the first bowlers to open up with the white ball. And it does ask questions of the batsman to play those aggressive shots, and if you can pick up a wicket in the process. There wasn't as much turn as I thought there might be, which is a good sign for Surrey.
Pretorius then. It's flown off a length. Really kicked. There's plenty of life in this one.
You feel it's got a touch of the Lords, the Test match, isn't it? If you hit a certain length, there's a bit of bounce. The odd one keeps a little low. Not in a bad way, but there's certainly some lift if you hit the wicket hard, and obviously some pace on show.
Useful toss for Somerset to win. Get first look at this track. Full and almost underneath the bat, the toe end squeezed into the covers. So a good start here, Pretorius.
Big game for both teams, isn't it? I mean, Surrey in particular, I think they'll be looking to put a marker down on Somerset. For me, these are 2 of the best sides in the competition, not just in the South Group. I think 2 of the favourites at the start. Somerset have had the wood over Surrey in the last 3 games, but not the last time they played here.
Single into the onside, so Tell scampers off strike. Interesting to see if Will Jacks has suffered any ill effects of that blow that he received from Riley Meredith previous over. Looks to be okay. Yeah, Somerset have had the wood over Surrey full stop really in recent years. Won 5 of the last 7. As you say, won the corresponding fixture. First game of this new campaign. Won it quite comfortably down at Taunton, and in fact they've won 4 of the last 5. Beats him, more pace in this track. Takes a tumble for his troubles. You won't mind that at all. This is the kind of track that a quick bowler really does relish. It's flying off a length.
Having said that, of those wins, the last 3 have gone to Somerset. 2 of those are at Taunton, the other one at Edgbaston. So
this is true.
Not at home, but
it's true. Sorry,
anyone who beats Somerset this year, I think, is likely to win the competition.
Missed out there, Will Jacks. that was there to hit, wanting to take it across to the onside. Perhaps he may have been minded just to punch that one through the covers. Longish full toss, full bunger. And Pretorius gets away with one. Goes down this time, and there you go. Gorgeous. Gives himself a touch of room, clobbers it through the covers. 22 for no loss, 3 overs in.
Great shot from Will Jacks through the offside. You just sense that he's going to target the opposite end to Riley Meredith. I think there's pace, certainly for the first couple of overs from Meredith, is going to really ask the question, and I think try and take a little bit of advantage at the other end. But great shot through the covers.
Yeah, no surprises. Meredith will continue. Looked terrifying, really, in that first over, and running in hard. Ryan Patel facing up, going to maintain slip. Lewis Gregory, the skipper, is stationed himself. Ryan Patel, stand back and have a look at that. That's a glorious shot.
Great shot from Ryan Patel. A poor man's Chris Gale. It hasn't cleared the stand, but he knows what to expect. He's obviously seen from the other end the length that Riley Meredith is bowling. He's set himself for that, and a brilliant shot over mid-wicket. Quite a few rows back into the stand.
Yeah, that's a stunner. The good players, they anticipate where that ball is going to be, and he knew it was going to be on the rise. That's what he'd seen first over, and so he was hanging back on that back foot, waiting for it. Spectacular. Tries it again, a bit fuller, ends up on his haunches. There's a reason why Meredith is top of the tree this year. What a shot though, Ali Brown.
That was a tremendous shot over mid-wicket, and he's, actually, there's nothing wrong with that shot that he's looking to play. Basically, I think he's looked at the leg side. If he gets anything on it, unless he picks out deep square leg, it's going to go for a boundary. He just needs to get a little bit of bat on it. Riley Meredith's bowling very straight here. The short fine leg wouldn't want to be in the game. That's a position you wouldn't want to be at, but if he gets any bat on it through the leg side, there's going to be runs.
Full this time, punch to mid-on, goes immediately, makes his ground. Meredith mixing it up. Good opportunity this for Ryan Patel, just his 10th T20 of his career. 27 years old now. Played the other night. Blobbed up against Glamorgan in his first game. But Surrey happy to give him another run at the top of the order. And that shot will give him a surge of confidence and adrenaline as well, you fancy, against the quick. That's fast and a well-directed bouncer. In fact, the umpires do give it a wide. That would have been marginal.
He's bowling the sort of pace here that you could have a long stop. And I say that because of the pace of it. Could easily get a top edge when hooking. I mean, sometimes when you don't actually control the hook, and that's because of the pace, it can go straight over the keeper's head. But generally, at this pace, the chances are that if you do get anything on it, it probably sail into the covers.
Yeah, Will Jacks just practicing the uppercut. At this pace, that might not be that bad an option. They do have a very fine deep third. Beats him again, the keeper. And it will run away almost to the boundary. Tom Lammonby dragging it back, but they will scamper through for 3. More buys. Tough day so far.
Well, it's not a
Kohler-Cadmore.
It's not keeper to this is always going to be hard work. The odd ball staying a little bit low, the odd ball flying through. I mean, my second game in one-day cricket, I kept wicket to whack a Eunice on a wicket, funny enough, against Somerset down at Weston Supermare, and it was a little bit too paced, and one ball was by my shins, the next at my chest. So it's going to be hard work for the keeper.
Towed it, but gets away with it. Picks up a single. See what he's trying to do. To take that short one right back past the bowler. Goes right off the cue end.
I like the way he's set here, though, and what would be interesting is one of Somerset's most famous brothers, Marcus Trescothick, facing this, because I think the way he would face this is actually to use that pace and try and ramp it over the keeper or even third man. We played against Somerset for Notts. We had Dirk Nannes bowling 90 miles an hour, and that's exactly where Trez put it, behind the keeper.
Gives himself room. Brilliantly done, Will Jacks. Senses that he may have been following him, and so he readies himself for the pull shot, and it almost goes all the way. In fact, it does. What a shot, because that's a long boundary, and that was flat and hard. Sensational batting by Will Jacks. Almost a double bluff. He's got a lot of it to clear that boundary. It's a long way. It's got to be 85 metres out that way to the long part of the ground.
Reverse the ends, that's out the ground, isn't it? Straight down the Harleford Road.
That's it. 40 for no loss then. So Surrey now, their tails up. Victorious it will be to continue. J.M. Finn stand end here. Ryan Patel. 11 from 9. 6 of those coming in the previous over with a spectacular piece of batting. So Surrey taking it to the champion quick Meredith. Victorious this time. Yorker, well bowled, block hole stuff.
This is the. I talked about the
slightly hard, Ali. Sorry. With the two umpires in the Somerset kits, you feel it looks like there's 13 fieldsmen out there. If you have a look, exactly the same colour shirts.
I like to think I'll be
the black trousers.
I'll be looking at the ball.
Bit of a hoik, inside edge into the boot, scampers through.
What I would say is that. There is, I mean, because the length of the boundary out there, the nudge to the circle at mid wicket is 2. If you can get there, if you fancy running it, if you can just get it 5 yards inside there, I don't think deep mid wicket would get there. But of course, you want to be very positive when you've got 90 miles an hour coming down at the other end. It's very easy to say, I'll take a few 1s and 2s. You're trying to get as many as you can. So with the ball a bit fuller rather than going through at chest high.
Well bowled by Pretorius. Increasingly popular delivery. The wide Yorker just inside the tram lines. Risky delivery, but effective if you can pull it off. 2 men behind square on the offside.
It's a good delivery if you can hold that line, because you have got cover there. It does take out the leg side.
That is the problem, though, when you go full and wide outside off stump without the slip. Run away for 4 more. Will Jacks well into his work then. 25 from 17.
Surrey ahead of the rate for me here, not just because they're going at around about 10s. I think the wicket's got a bit in it. I think, and also with the big boundary, I think it's a great start after 4.4.
And a misfield. Been a bit sloppy at times here at Somerset. It's not like them, normally so lethal in the field. Pride themselves on the percentages, on the marginals, getting it right.
So Phil, you're saying that the Somerset should have a second kit just in case the umpires also turn up in pink?
I keep looking to find where the umpire is to see if it's a bye or a
I
wide.
think they're always going to be at the same place. One's going to be by the stumps and the
They
other one's
often
square
move
leg.
away, don't they? They make these histrionic movements. Anyway,
So you think it's favouring Somerset?
it's not favouring me, that's all I'm saying. I think, yeah, umpires should have an away kit. Follows him, well bowled, good over this. Excellent stuff by Pretorius, dragging it back. And so that one falls to Somerset. Honours pretty much even. Surrey probably marginally the happier, having been inserted 46 for no loss and knowing what's to come, as we say. It's a ferocious batting lineup, really. Daniel Lawrence as well. 120 not out Friday night. Career best. Spectacular demonstration of stroke making, creativity and genius, really. He will be itching, you imagine. Stuck down at 5. Desperate to get out there.
I don't think he'd be itching as much as Jason Roy at number 3. I mean, I do like Jason in a matchup with extreme pace. I know he played very well. I think he got, did he get 70 or 80 down at Taunton against the quicks of Henry and Meredith. I think he matches up well with it. I think with Jason, you actually want as much pace on as possible from a Surrey perspective. I think that favours him a lot more than it does taking the pace off probably after 7 or 8 overs.
It's going to be the medium-fast swingers now of Lewis Gregory then. So Riley Meredith is going to be held back for later on in the piece. Jack's away. Straight away.
I think if Somerset do bowl straight, you don't want to, at times, Surrey just overhit a little bit, especially when they go into the long side. I think, yes, you want to overhit to the shorter side, because if you get 2 or 3 of those off and away, you will be getting 10, 12 plus per over. But so Somerset are bowling very tight lines. They're trying to bowl, very much wicket to wicket and give no room. But on the leg side, there's runs to be had, but probably not as boundaries.
Just beats him. It's enough of it. That shot is on. Patel clears the man quite comfortably in the end at mid-on. Picks up his second boundary.
Setting himself well, isn't he? Sets himself deep in the crease, just looking for length. Anything he can get there. The shorter it is, the square it'll go. And the fuller it is, clearing towards the shorter part of the ground there, that sort of hexagonal where it cuts in at the sort of dressing room end.
Pushed long on back now. So 2 men now out on the onside to Ryan Patel.
And a no ball.
No ball.
Measure.
Again, slightly haphazard stuff here from the visitors, which is much out of character, especially for the skipper as well, who's seen it all before. So 8 from his first 2 legal deliveries and a freebie coming up. Will Jacks will be eyeing up. Where will he be eyeing up, Ali Brown? What do you reckon?
Well, straight with a pull on the cards, I reckon.
Goes high, steepling beyond Jack Leach. So Somerset will take that, all things considered. Clever bowling by Gregory, just to bang it in.
That could be a good policy as well, coming in from that end, bowling shorter with the big boundary. Ball might just sit in the wicket a fraction. I think Surrey will be looking at that going forward as a potential. That's a good lineup, I think.
Again, right off the toe. Loses shape a touch.
Ryan Patel setting himself for the length or short ball, and he's getting a lot of full stuff.
So 2 deliveries to go over the power play. Honours just about even. We'll take that though. Oh, it was there to hit.
Oh, he's got it.
And is it landed in the man's lap?
I can tell you he's caught that.
That's a remarkable catch if he has.
I don't think he knew much about it, but live, I think it's hit his hands and ended up in his lap.
It's slapped hard.
That could be a £1,000 catch.
Let's have a look at that again. Oh, just a little inside edge or else Ryan Patel was in trouble there.
You know what? I mean, that is a place, when you sit somewhere in the crowd, that's not where you're thinking you can take a catch. I don't think he even got up.
Come back to that.
Hold my beer.
The power play is done, so 61 for no loss. Surrey doing it pretty well, you would say, having been inserted. Jack Leach got us going, and Will Jacks ran at him second ball, deposited him, doesn't pose back. A rather messy first over behind the stumps against Riley Meredith. A couple of sundries running down past Tom Kohler-Cadmore. That fabulous shot to get Ryan Patel up and running. And then Will Jacks with some very clever batting, giving himself room and then double bluffing going leg side. A couple of boundaries as well from Pretorius. Surrey probably just edging it then, 61 for no loss. Pace and carry in the pitch, bit of turn, Jack Leach back into the fray. Let's get that catch back on. Because, as we know, there's a grand up for grabs. If he has taken it cleanly, that's one of the all-time great catches. Yaz Rana has joined us. Ali Brown stepped away for a time. Got in this time. Jack Leach picks up his first wicket of the year in T20 cricket with a tidy piece of bowling, and Ryan Patel has to go. So, post power play. Somerset changing it up. Jack Leach, very, very canny piece of bowling, just holding it back. Patel not quite there to the pitch, but going through with it. And Tom Kohler-Cadmore, after a rather mucky start with the gloves, picks up a tidy stumping.
He's bowled really well today. Doesn't play much T20 cricket for Somerset, but tidy first over. Difficult bowling finger spin inside the power play. And they're just giving the ball some air. And this will be an interesting matchup too. Now bowling at two right-handers, Jason Roy and Will Jacks. But also interesting that it's a short leg side boundary, so both batters will be looking to target that and more generally feel 62 for 1 after 6.2 overs. We've seen a lot of runs scored on this pitch recently. Surrey Glamorgan on Friday night. 450 runs in the game.
Yeah, I didn't miss much, did I? Yeah, I think this one's going to go all the way. It has that feel of it, really. Two champion teams. You want pace and bounce in your cricket pitches. This has plenty of it.
Slip in for the new man, Jason Roy. So Somerset on the attack. And Roy looks to attack first ball. A lot of space behind square on the offside. Only two boundary fielders on the offside, 3 on the leg side. Looks that shot again. And first slip. Looking to anticipate where the ball might go. Moved a few yards to his right.
Yeah, it's the skipper, Lewis Gregory. We've seen Ben Stokes do this a few times. It's a speciality of Stokes to anticipate. Lewis Gregory's tried to do the same thing here. He's rather complicated matters for himself, and it's gone right through his path.
I think it would have gone exactly where he was initially standing.
It would, and it would have gone at nice catchable pace as well. Jack Leach, a bit unlucky.
Yeah, Roy, he's attempted the reverse sweep twice off 2 balls. What does he do now? Same again. This time, gets it out. The middle of the bat, picks up 4 again, but far more convincingly. Roy straight into his work, 8 off 3.
Yeah, brilliantly done by Jason Roy. The one thing I would say from Somerset's point of view is that he's clearly telegraphed this shot, and the man at deep cover point, maybe might wanted to have sent him there a bit finer, a bit earlier, possibly would have been able to cut that one off, although it did come right out of the screws. They have now changed that field around now, so 2 men behind square, inside, plus the cover. But good over this, overall.
Yep, 9 runs from it, and the wicket of Ryan Patel. I suppose that slip fielder meant there was more space to target once he came out. Leach bowls a similar ball to finish up, and Roy, instead of looking to reverse swing, just nudged it into the leg side. Yeah, but Leach doesn't play a lot of T20 cricket, partly because of the number of options that Somerset have at their disposal. We're going to see another left-arm spinner come into the attack now, Lewis Goldsworthy. Very tidy finger spin bowler, but also brilliant fielder. Very handy with the bat too, so Leach is a specialist left-arm spinner. Finds it quite difficult to get into this Somerset T20 side. Bit of grip first off, and tidy bit of fielding as well from Goldsworthy off his own bowling. Also supposed to be a very good footballer, Phil.
Yep. Saw him have a kick about earlier as well. Good player.
Creatively, his nickname is Messi.
Is that right?
Tidy start. A highly rated young all-rounder, former England under-19. Slightly different challenge from this end. Shorter offside boundary. Roy runs hard and gets 2. Miss it from Jacks, but so vast is that leg side boundary that if you nudge it into the leg side, there's almost always 2. It'll be interesting to see how far off the rope the boundary riders are. At the moment, deep mid-wicket is a good 10 yards off the rope.
Every time Will Jacks just gives him himself a bit of room. Just changes the angle against the spinner. There's always that temptation when you are seeing it as a spinner to follow him as well, but in some respects that plays into Will Jacks' hands. So it means he can play the cross-bat shot against a ball that he knows is missing leg stump. It's very, very clever.
It's a very good start this from Goldsworthy. Something that we saw the other night was, it ended up being on the losing side, but the second best innings of the game was from Colin Ingram. And something that he did throughout, Roy nudged it into the leg side, it's in the gap, there should be 2, it is 2. A very tidy start for Goldsworthy, just 6 runs from his first over, Surrey 77 for 1. So something that Colin Ingram did was he almost forgot about what the boundary dimensions were. He backed his power and cleared the long side a couple of times. And we saw in that over, Jacks giving himself room, probably trying to access the offside, the shorter side of the ground. Goldsworthy doing well to follow him, cramping him up for room. And he finishes with a very tidy first over the day. Change of bowler for Somerset. Ben Green into the attack for the first time today. A wicket-taking machine in this format. With his bag of slower balls, variations. Very canny operator.
Just going back to Jack Leach, yes, 27 list day games, and this is his 8th T20 game in his whole career. For a bowler who is so naggingly accurate and reliable, and he's a useful fielder and he can hold a bat, that is a curious statistic, isn't it?
Very curious, but I suppose at Somerset it is just a very difficult team to get into, and Somerset and Surrey, on several levels, they're 2 interesting counties to compare. Surrey, obviously a test match venue, 100 side. Somerset, not either of those 2 things, but across formats, you'd say these are the 2 most consistently competitive sides in the country at the moment. And one thing they share is immense strength and depth within their squad, and also all-round talent in the 11. Both sides bat so deep that it's very difficult for specialist spinners to muscle their way into an 11. The interesting one with Leach, I'd throw it forward a couple of weeks to the Old Trafford test, and Shoaib Bashir, there's an injury doubt over him at the moment. Pulled into the leg side, should just be one. And even if Shoaib Bashir is fit, I wonder if England consider bringing in a second spinner into the squad. If you're going to do it at any ground in England, it's probably Old Trafford. And with all the...
I feel like there's plenty of discussion to be had.
Full toss.
See what happens at Lord's.
But Roy misses out. Gets it in the gap though, so they pick up 2. Yeah, I'm not saying necessarily in the 11, definitely, but they've had an enlarged squad throughout the summer so far. I wonder if they might consider the option, especially given all the talk about how useful the Duke's ball is after a certain number of overs.
Well, we've seen on day 4 here at Lord's that Washington Sundar's picked up a couple. He would be the second spinner in India's side, and so there's definite value in it. I feel like there's a few more permutations as well before we finally settle down to that first delivery in 10 days' time or whenever it is. Perhaps at the top of the order.
Drilled through cover for 4, beats the man. But short extra cover, and Jacks moves on to 38.
Yeah, it was a long half volley by Ben Green. He's cranky with himself, takes his hat from the umps and kicking the turf as he walks away, but still needs hitting. There's a real crispness to Will Jacks when he's playing like this. Quite an imperious looking player, really. Increasingly versatile as well. Across the formats, being, if you like, redefined as an England 50-over player, batting at 7 as a finisher, and I like that role for him. I think he has the adaptability in his game and the intelligence as well, I think, to give that run, give that go.
Welcome boundary that. 12 runs off the previous 11 deliveries. A lot of batting still to come for Surrey. I feel this is a big over. Goldsworthy started well, just 6 runs from it. Still bowling to the 2 right-handers. How will Surrey look to play him now? Well, he uses his feet. Doesn't beat Goldsworthy. I wonder if he will look to whip out the reverse sweep again. 2 men in the ring on the offside behind square. Drops it into the leg side. Look for 2, but this time Will Jacks turns his partner back, just 1.
Yeah, this is excellent by Goldsworthy. Everything bang on the money. But you know, as a left-arm spinner, what these 2 players are thinking of doing to you. They're eyeing up straight mid-wicket.
Jacks looks to use his feet, targets the short side and picks up 6. Brilliant shot from Jacks. Taking in the boundary dimensions. Comfortably clears the rope.
Yeah, and as we were saying earlier, just gives himself a tiny bit of room, opening up the angle. Glorious shot. Washington Sundar picks up another yes in the other game going on somewhere in London.
Jacks uses his feet well again, this time engineering a bit of width for himself. So what's the situation?
7 down, England. Ben Stokes has just gone. Washington Sundar's picked up 3 for. 181 for 7. So can he get out of this over here? Lewis Goldsworthy's just 15 from 1.5. Excellent figures. A bit of a hiding to nothing, really, bowling from that end against these two. Superb.
Just a single to finish, and even though he conceded that 6 earlier in the over, just 10 runs from it overall, so good response from the young left-arm spinner. And though they've not taken a wicket for a little while, Phil, at the halfway point, Somerset won't mind that they've managed to rein Surrey in a bit over the last 15 minutes. 97 for 1 after 10 overs.
Yeah, it's a delightfully poised game, isn't it? I feel like both sides just sparring at the moment with one another. I feel like Surrey are in a good position to really expand now, second half of this innings. 9 still in the hutch. Jack Leach back into the attack.
Spin from both ends. Bit of width, too much width. He'll have to bowl that one again. Interesting to see how Jacks takes Leach on. Roy whipped out the reverse sweep on a number of occasions. All Jacks tried to do. Slaps it straight to the man at a shortish backward point, but it's through that man. So Jacks picks up 4, which takes him to 50. His third 50 of the competition. Brought up after just 30 deliveries. Statement performance from the Surrey opener.
Yeah, it's been brilliant, but again, more messy work in the outer by Somerset. Ben Green this time. That should have been a dot ball. Instead it runs away for 4. Straight through him.
Bit of width again. Jack gives himself room, looks at the umpire asking, wondering whether that could have been given a wide, but...
Oh, that's fine. That's really, really good stuff by Jack Leach.
The umpire just making sure the bails are on correctly. Man, that backward point, Ben Green is in really tight. Width again, well fielded this time at cover. You can see what Leach is trying to do. Attack that wide line and challenging Jacks to beat the 2 men in close on the offside. Change up this time. So 6 runs from the over so far. 2 balls remaining. England 8 down at Lords. Reverse sweep again, but this time Leach has more protection for that shot. Straight to the fielder.
Big final delivery here for Jack Leach. Been another very good over. Very clever. Bowling to his field. Can he get out of it? The answer is yes, well done.
Roy respectfully nudges the ball into the offside, picks up a single. It's a very tidy over for Jack Leach. Conceded 1 boundary, but that was very much not his fault. Misfield at backward point. Looks like, at this point in the game at least, Somerset's decision to bring in the extra spinner looking good so far. Goldsworthy, very tidy. 2 overs for 16. Leach, 1 for 26 from his 3. And Goldsworthy will continue. The Surrey innings simmering, you feel, yet to really explode into life. Going very
you're
well.
right, he hasn't yet. They're going at 10s,
Yes.
basically, without really breaking sweat.
Yeah, obviously in a very good position. Equally, you feel like Somerset have done quite well to just about keep a lid on the Surrey scoring rate with 2 very dangerous batters at the crease. Pulled hard into the leg side and beats the man at deep backward square leg for 4. He was in a good 10, 15 yards from the rope. He was beaten. Jacks moves on to 55.
Yeah, and again, further evidence that Jacks just gives himself that room outside leg stump, and if the bowler follows him, then it's a free hit. It's a free swing, knowing that if you miss, then you're not going to be in trouble. It's a policy that he has against the spinners and against the quicks, but especially the slow men, and it pays off more often than not.
And that hit just pushes the fielders on the leg side boundary back right onto the rope. And it allows them to pick up 2. Before that delivery, the fielders on the boundary are a good 10, 15 yards in. It shows what a bit of attacking intent can do. Changes the mindset of the fielders on the rope. Good start to this over for Surrey. 7 off the first 3 deliveries. Jack's looking really good, 57 off 35.
Yeah, and Jason Roy doing it quite well, actually. He's just aware that Jacks is on one and letting him play, letting him take much of the strike. Not trying to match him shot for shot.
Oh, Jacks gives himself a bit of room. There was width to work with there.
He's missed out there, he has. That was right in his slot. First time, perhaps, just comes off the shot just a touch.
Flatter, given. Goldsworthy strikes. It's been a really good spell from the Somerset youngster, and he's rewarded with not just any wicket, but it's the wicket of Will Jacks. 57 off 37. A fine knock comes to an end.
Yeah, Somerset really did need that. And Lewis Goldsworthy's bowled a delightful spell here. So Jacks' breezy knock comes to an end. He's entirely enamoured with the decision, but then what batsman is? And they see the dreaded digit go up, so he has to walk away. But a fabulous knock. Feels like really just opening the door to some pyrotechnics here in the second half of Surrey's innings. 111 for 2. It's a great position, great foundation from which to really go hard now. Sam Curran it will be.
Yeah, an excellent knock from Jacks, but I don't think Surrey will massively mind that it brought their skipper Sam Curran to the crease. A left-hander. Somerset have been able to bowl their left-arm spinners in tandem for a while now. Each has one over left, Goldsworthy, another one after this. Slightly harder to bowl 2 left-arm finger spinners from both ends when you have a left-hander there. It goes around the wicket. Sorry, over the wicket to Sam Curran, who now has that short leg side boundary to work with. Goldsworthy spinning the ball into Curran. And he gets him. First ball, Curran taking the aggressive option. On first up, beaten in the air, and Goldsworthy has 2 in 2.
So we're an end to Goldsworthy's third. They needed it. The march was really on, and they've got rid of 2 real danger men. Sam Curran does not often miss out. Lewis Goldsworthy's been a real find for Somerset this year in T20 cricket. He's one of these multifaceted young cricketers. He's near the top of the batting averages as well. And he has the best economy rate of Somerset's bowlers this time round. Ever present as well. I'll tell you what, we've seen plenty of purchase for the left arm spinners from both ends here. It's going to be Jack Leach to carry on.
Tidy bit of work too from Tom Kohler-Cadmore. Had a difficult first few overs. Jason Roy slaps one into the offside. It brings Dan Lawrence on strike for the first time today. A man in form, Phil.
You could say that, yeah. So I wasn't here Friday night, unfortunately, but I did catch the highlights on Saturday. when he's on, there's no one else quite like him.
Yeah, it felt like, even though he's been around the domestic game for a decade now, it felt like a breakthrough knock for him in T20 cricket. His T20 numbers probably don't quite reflect his immense ability. Or full bunger from Leach. And that's dismissively pulled into the boundary rope for 4. It is also a no ball, so it will also be a free hit. That came from nowhere.
Indeed, that's exactly what I was going to say. Metronomic is Jack Leach with the odd flat one. Where's that come from?
And that'll be 6. Dropped in the crowd. Flatter from Leach. But Roy able to stand up and deliver and pull that comfortably over long on for 6.
Yeah, it's a cracker that. Jason Roy. Nowhere near the pitch of it. But his eye is so good. And those hands do the rest.
Very good over this for Surrey. Goldsworthy, who will start his next over on a hat-trick. Took 2 in 2, but Surrey able to get some momentum going again. 16 runs off this over with 1 delivery remaining. And Leach, very impressive today up until this over. Now has figures as 3.5 overs, 1 for 42.
He's bowled better than that as well, I think.
Tossed up. Roy's walking off already, and Leach strikes. Roy looking to take on the fielder at long off. He knew straight away that he didn't quite get hold of that as he would have liked to, and he departs for 32 off 21.
Just trying to go a little bit squarer, more towards extra cover, and didn't quite get his angles right, Jason Roy. So a quiet innings from him, really. 32 from 21. Didn't quite get going, didn't quite get stuck into it today. So you just have to be a tiny bit mindful here. Run rate's good, but suddenly inside a couple of overs they've lost 3 for 4 down overall, and Lawrence newly to the crease. Tom Curran now joining him. Just we've got to keep that in mind, I think.
Yeah, Leach rewarded for tossing that one up a little bit more. Conceded a couple of boundaries, having been a bit flatter. Brings Tom Curran to the middle. The heroes from Friday night reunited. Extraordinary partnership. Surrey completing their highest ever successful chase in T20 cricket, 223. They did so having been 16 for 3 and 78 for 4.
Yeah, Dan Lawrence was tried as an opener, wasn't he, when he first came here from Essex. Had his moments last year, but probably underperformed for his talent as an opener. Perhaps this is his slot.
Gregory on replacing Goldsworthy. They go for the quick single. Oh, would have been in trouble if he hit.
Would have been gone for all money, yes. That's the answer. That's a mad run by Dan Lawrence, and strange decision, because it was almost, he sensed that it wasn't there, but he'd almost committed to it and so carried on regardless.
Yeah, a bit of miscommunication. I wonder if he saw how far down his mate was and that one of them was going to be in trouble either way. Missed opportunity that for Somerset.
Absolutely.
Would have been a very big moment, dismissing the 4-man for just 2. Interesting that Goldsworthy so far denied the opportunity to take that hat-trick. But 3 wickets in quick succession for Somerset. done well to peg Surrey back here. Tidy start to this over from Gregory. 3 singles from the first 3 deliveries.
Yeah, pace off the ball more often than not with Gregory. Cutters, knuckleballs, slowies. He's one of the great operators over the last 15 years in county cricket, really integral to this setup. Big match player as well.
Full toss, flayed over backward point just for a single. It's interesting that obviously so many runs are scored on Friday night, but the one type of delivery that seemed to have more success than others was pace off from the seamer. Sam Curran, the pick of the Surrey bowlers, 2 for 31 from his 4 overs. Took the pace off more than any of the other seamers on display. And Gregory, just 4 runs from this over so far. Pace on this time. It's only a single. I feel like this is a big delivery, Phil. Can the Somerset skipper get out of this over without conceding a boundary? Yes, he can. That'll be another single. So 6 runs from Gregory's second over. Surrey 133 for 4. Changing the commentary box. Ali Brown's going to come in to replace me. But in the meantime, let's have a look at some of the highlights of that Will Jacks half century.
57 from 37. Irresistible this afternoon. Made his intentions clear immediately. Second ball. Just got a bit on that as well to pick up his first boundary for. That was a glorious shot. Double bluffed Riley Meredith and stuck him over mid-wicket. Third 6. They stay hit. 57 from 37. 6 4s, 3 6s. He is in the form of his life, really maturing as a cricketer. 38 T20 50s and 400s as well in the shortest form. He's a top player. Pretorius again. Perhaps the shot of the day. Certainly from an aesthetic perspective, there are a few better than that. Tom Curran, talk me through that, Ali Brown.
Well, that's about as good a drive as you can hit. Often, the way Tom plays, he can hit all 360 around the ground. But that is a perfect shot. Hit it well through the offside and held the pose as well. Great camera shot.
As well he might. What a shot. He'll have to bowl that again. Keeper rather optimistically asking for something and getting nothing.
These next 2 or 3 overs really pivotal for Surrey here. They're in a fantastic position. They're ahead of the rate. I feel Somerset have given a number of runs to Surrey, probably 25, 30 runs in terms of where they are at the moment. But if a couple of wickets go down, we're looking at about 200 here as a par score.
Flails another one through the covers, but there is cover now. Square, and so just a single.
Yeah, you'd expect from this position, you'd expect Surrey to get 200, which I think is a massive score on this ground. I think the wicket is fair, but it's the boundary that makes the big difference. And I think if that were the case, if they can get 200, I think they'd be 25 ahead of par. So, as I said, these next 2 or 3 overs, as long as they don't lose a couple of wickets, and they've got Riley Meredith to come back, it's a pivotal part of the game.
Deep third comes up into the circle. Long off now back, so 5 men dotted around the boundary. Maybe in business here. Just going to drop short of Tom Abel.
The field basically telegraphing.
Another no ball, sorry Ali. Another no ball. More elementary errors here. This is a top unit, this Somerset side. Unbeatable basically this year, but they have been all too fallible this afternoon in the field, and so another free hit. Tom Curran will be licking his lips.
They've been loose, haven't they, today? Really loose for a side that's at top of the South Division.
Stuttering run up, but he gets away with it.
He's put away the classic off drive. Try to go for the hack into the leg side, but I mean, as I said, the field here dictates that he's probably going to go full and outside off stump.
There it was, as called by Ali Brown.
Yeah, for a side that's only lost a couple of games this year and have been the standout team, you'd say, in the country, they've really have been loose. A few no balls, misfields, wides, byes.
Lawrence, all wrists up to long on. So, just going at a run of ball down Lawrence at the moment, just getting the blood pumping, ready for the explosion in the final quarter here, you fancy. As he has said, it was a real graduation knock, a coming-of-age knock in T20 cricket. So another one goes. 3/4 of this innings now done. 144 for 4. Surrey doing it pretty well. Yeah, Dan Lawrence, it bears repeating, 120 not out. From number 5 as well in the order. Takes a rare kind of talent.
I think this is a big over coming up. Goldsworthy, who's in a position, I think Surrey would target this as a possible 10 to 15 off the over. Then they've got 5 overs left, 2 of which are coming from Meredith.
There he goes, Lawrence. That will beat all 3 men behind square on the offside, and so that runs away for 4. Good batting.
A great shot from Dan Lawrence. I mean, that's I think the way they're going to play. They'll anything over 175, I think, is a very, very good score, and I think Surrey could really target the 195s, 200s here if they get it right these last few overs.
So Goldsworthy, 2 for 27, bowled excellently. Lawrence gives himself room, and it does beat the man, and indeed the boundary. So that runs away for 6. 10 from the first 2 here. Lawrence is back in business.
That is the shot of a man in form, isn't it? Just needs that. Didn't try and overhit. That is the shortest part of the boundary. That's exactly where you want to hit. He's held his position really well, and the placement is outstanding.
So, ringing changes again. There is now a man out at deep extra, and deep point has been brought up into the ring. All bowled by Goldsworthy, but Lawrence is running hard, and they do get back for 2 comfortably. Even Tom Lamberby, one of the best outfielders in the country, is helpless to keep that one down.
Really good cricket, though. I mean, that boundary over there is about 75 yards, and you've really got, as a fielder there, you need to be 10 yards off it to be able to stop 2 there. Very good cricket.
So these 2 put on 146 on Friday night. Lawrence 120 not out of 54. Tom Curran 49 not out of 27. Not a bad engine room, you'd say, these 2. Jamie Overton still in the hutch. Surrey in a good position here. Punched into the gap. Tom Curran running hard. Back for 2. Easy as you like. 2 every single time out to mid-wicket.
It's not what you want in 30-odd degrees to have to run a whole lot of 2s there, but there's a lot of value to be had, and I think really clever cricket on that large gas holder side.
Just the single this time because he creamed it off his hip. Keeps the strike, Tom Curran. 4 to go, 160 for 4.
Yeah, we've seen some big knocks and large scores at the Oval, but not potentially with a boundary of this size. And I think it'd be interesting to see how Surrey bowl, especially with spin. I think you can hold a team. I think there won't be that many boundaries towards that side. I know Will Jacks hit a big 6 on that side, which carried all the way. But as long as Surrey can hold when they bowl, as long as they can hold, keep the ball away from the shorter side, I think they're in a great position at the moment.
So Meredith it will be to see us out from the Vauxhall end this time. Tom Curran's looked good for his 12. Looks in good shape. This is a different proposition though, out and out pace. Slower ball. Clubbed to Sean Dixon on the bounce. So perhaps an indication of how Meredith is going to try and play this. Mix it up. Explore the middle of the pitch. Off cutters, knuckleballs.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Dan Lawrence pick up something here. Just go across. He's obviously going to bowl fairly straight. Any width with the 2 men up on the offside is going to be hard for them to defend.
And bang on cue, he's stuck him back, in fact. So,
well, I think that's a better field.
helped on its way, and it does go all the way. Doesn't have to get too much of it with that kind of pace. Shortish boundary down there towards the Bedser. And Lawrence, well, he's just carrying on where he left off. He's now 146 not out for the weekend.
Reading the field well. I mean, it was telegraphed. The man going back meant the length was going to change. Still the same sort of straight, try and hit the wicket hard, but yeah, he's played that really well.
Where does he go now then, the quick? Full, Lawrence punches it through the covers. Lovely to watch. Everything's in good working order.
I think it's important here that Tom Curran can play a really good supporting role. I know he'll want to hit boundaries, but with Dan Lawrence being in the form that he's in, setting up nicely, I think he'll be trying to get him back on strike. And if you pick up 2s and 4s, it's a bonus. But if Tom Curran can seize getting Dan Lawrence back on strike, I think that would be a great sight for Surrey.
That's better. Can't do much with that. Although they do come back for 2. Excellent running. Frustration's deepening here for the visitors. Even the good balls are still going for a couple.
I mean, to get 2 there is great running.
Throws his hands at it, gets enough of it, and that will run away for 4 more. Expensive over with 1 delivery still to go. Riley Meredith being humbled here, really. 30 wickets this year already in the tournament. But today is a different story. These 2 in prime form, feeling good. Just rolling really on the adrenaline and the buzz of Friday night. Picks up a single then off the pad. Leg side-ish, no real concerns for the umpire, no decision to make. So yeah, 33 conceded from his 3 overs, Riley Meredith. 3 to go. Ben Green will pick up the cudgels from the far end as we look at it, the pavilion end. Lewis Goldsworthy is bowled out, 2 for 39.
playing some really high IQ cricket today, aren't they? I mean, they're obviously a side in form, fresh off that win against Glamorgan. But I think just the last time we played on the boundary this size, when we Hampshire were the visitors, a lot of players were getting caught in the deep, and I think they're learning today about, you know, finding twos, fours. They haven't overhit either. They haven't lost the shape too many times, and so there's anything over 175 is a fantastic score.
Doesn't get too much of this one though. Long off's interested and he goes. Tom Curran has to go. So Ben Green back into the attack, picks up his first. Easy catch at long off. Surrey won't mind that too much. Jamie Overton is already halfway across the outfield, raring to get going.
They don't get any shorter hitters, do they? I played at the England Cricket Golf Day on Monday. Nearest the pin in 2. I thought I'd done quite well to hit it to 3 feet. And Jamie Overton drove the green.
He's a big lad.
He has some strength. Put it in context, I was 60 yards away.
Yeah, one of the highest strike rates in the history of T20. That's how strong he is.
Just a nudge.
Career strike rate, sorry, Ali, of 157, which puts him on in the top 7 or 8 of established players around the world across the whole history of T20. Lawrence waits for it, clubs it, and it goes for 4. Miguel Pretorius, yet another goober, I'm afraid. Somerset have simply not been at the races at all today.
It's basic stuff, really. I mean, that's a good 30 runs they've given away in the field, and that's going to come back to haunt them in about an hour's time. But yeah, Surrey have played very well, but Somerset have given them a lot.
Contagious. The only explanation for it. Just going back to my umpire point, Ali. So he's standing at point now, the umpire, rather than conventional square leg. I was sure he was going to dive and take that.
I think he is wearing a camera, though, isn't he? I mean,
I can't see that from here. But yes, he is. Yeah.
I mean, you could have a point, Phil. Who should we speak to? The ECB?
It's purely for my own benefit. I don't think it bothers the players in the slightest.
Say, you could get that changed if you think there's a distinct advantage that you think there's an extra player. I can see your point though. If you look up and you kind of think, well, that could potentially be a player.
Yeah, it's been inexplicable, really, how Somerset have been so erratic in the field. Overton is hobbling here. Entirely sure what happened. He's not called for a physio. Checking out the Q end. He's okay. Our producer in our ears getting uptight again. So Overton is okay to carry on. Maybe just tweaked something in the leg, but he's in his stance, ready to go. It's fullish and easy pickings.
Not called a no ball, although Dan Lawrence is certainly looking at the square leg umpire, or the 12th Somerset fielder, as you rightly said, Phil. Wasn't given.
Yeah, borderline, wasn't it?
I think rightly so. I mean, it's close. You can ask. It's just a poor full toss.
That's better. Miguel Pretorius. He's bowled well from this end. Clearly holding Meredith back for that final over then from the pavilion end. Seems like Pretorius' natural end, and he's been perhaps the pick of the seamers. Crowd catch.
9 balls left. I'd quite like to see 7 of them with Dan Lawrence facing.
So Lawrence is on strike. Couple of deliveries left of this penultimate over. Jamie Overton's cranky with himself. Felt like he should have a few more than just 7 from 7. Lawrence makes moves and may well be picking out deep cover. He does. Well, it's one of those that comes off the bat and you think everything is available to you. And there's one man patrolling the whole of that expanse out there, and it's right down his throat. So lightning cannot strike twice. Lawrence has to go for a breezy and very stylish 32.
To be fair, that is a very good shot, and any other part of the ground that is 6. In fact, most parts of the country that's 6, and about 8 to 10 rows back. But he's absolutely middled it, played it really well, and of course that is the longest part of the ground, and a very good catch in the deep.
Yeah, it's an excellent catch by Will Smead, who is imminent as well with the bat. Do stay with us, folks, for the second half, because this game promises to be a humdinger. Will Smead is, just like Riley Meredith, the standout player in the tournament this year statistically. So Chrissy Jordan, the ever-present, into his work straight away, scampering for a 1, settles for that. Will have first dibs from the final over then. You assume it will be Riley Meredith. Indeed, his cap is already off, he's ready to go.
Yes, Surrey will be very happy with their work so far in the first 19 overs. If they can get 8 to 10 off this one, I think they'll be very happy with a score that, in my opinion, is comfortably over par. I would say about 170, 175 is par. You know, I'd probably say 170, and I think they're 18 over that already.
You say that because of the pitch, from what you've seen?
I say that because of the size of the ground more than anything. On the leg side, it is deep. We've just seen, Dan Lawrence, instead of that being out, that could have been 6 on a slightly smaller ground, and I think that plays a lot into what a par score is, how big it is out there, and the fact that Somerset have gifted about 25 or 30 runs in the field.
Meredith then. 4 through the legs. Thank you very much, Chrissy Jordan. The nutmeg comes to life. Not entirely deliberate, but he'll take it nonetheless. Not been Meredith's day so far. Everything he's tried has gone south.
And the thing is, if it goes slightly wrong or an edge anywhere, it just flies off at such pace that it's difficult to control, isn't it?
Almost again. Kohler-Cadmore, butterfingers. Not for the first time, couple more. More sloppy work. This is not the Somerset that we've come accustomed to in recent years. Left so many out there.
Where does extras fit in with the, is it third highest score?
So 17 extras so far, make that a couple more, 19 extras.
With the extra balls, the no balls.
Yeah, it's the litany of misfields though as well. Yeah, a bit of spice, bit of menace in that one. That was a quick ball Plenty of frustration in that.
Anything on that, though, could go for 6. That's the issue with that top edge in particular. Doesn't feel right, does it, when a top edge flies into the covers 20 yards over the boundary for something that you haven't really controlled. Well, he is bowling with pace, but he's got both. Third man is up, as is backward point. So there's no cover there. He's trying to bowl, very much at Chris Jordan.
Tearing in now is Meredith. Full punch down the ground, more runs all the way. Glorious.
What a way to bring up the 200. Very impressive punch. Just used the pace, gave himself a little bit of room. Struck very sweetly, straight back over Riley Meredith's head.
Majestic.
As soon as it was off the bat, that it had gone.
Imperious stuff by Chris Jordan. Lovely to see. The old adage, the quicker you bowl, the quicker it flies. And now DJ burst into a bit of the boss. That will be pleasing our producer, John Surtees, behind us. What an afternoon's entertainment we've got for you here. Forget what's happening north of the river. Let's ignore that for now. 200 for 6. Second time in a weekend that Surrey have posted in excess of 200.
But this is a massive score. This isn't just, sometimes if you get 200 on a belter of a wicket, on a smallish sort of boundary, you can see that happening, but this is way over par for me.
They look a bit stunned.
Well, they're not used to losing, are they? And I'm not saying they're lost already, but they're not used to being in a position where they're behind the rate. And I think Surrey have played brilliantly so far.
Riley Meredith has just got some problems with his left boot, where he lands on that front foot.
Is he trying to bowl an over in 10 minutes?
Oh, it's been the issue of the week, hasn't it? These delays, these interminable delays. Well, he's back into his work now. Can he salvage something from this over? 2 to go. I thought he was going to pick that up and hurl it down out of pure frustration, but he holds on to it, and a valuable dot ball. 1 to go, 200 for 6. Sparkling stuff. Can Chris Jordan get another one away? He'll pick up a single, a dirty single into the offside. So there we go, 201 for 6. Second 200 score of the weekend for Surrey. Brilliantly done. Propulsive right from the start. Will Jacks set the tone, launching the second delivery of the innings from Jack Leach over the ropes at straight mid-wicket. Jack's made 57 from 37. His innings was the star. Standout for Surrey. 6 4s, 3 6s. Feisty opening partnership with Ryan Patel, who played nicely for 23 from 18, including one of the shots of the innings, a kind of almost like a straight pull over straight mid-wicket against Riley Meredith to get himself into the fun of things. He went for 23 in the end, stumped by Kohler-Cadmore from the bowling of Jack Leach. Jason Roy simmered really, 32 from 22. Didn't quite get going. Was the junior man, or the quiet, silent partner really, alongside Will Jacks, who was the next man to go on 111. He went 57 LB to Lewis Goldsworthy, who bowled very tidily left-arm darts in the middle overs. Sam Curran came and went for a first bowler, and it brought Dan Lawrence in alongside Jason Roy. And Lawrence played beautifully really, 32 from 16 before picking out Smead on the far boundary on the offside to give Pretorius a well-deserved wicket. So 201 for 6. Surrey really being the stars out there. Jacks, Roy, Lawrence Patel, Goldsworthy and Leach, the pick of the spinners. There's a lot of turnout there. We're going to go straight to the Kia high catch.
I don't know what happened to the mascot. It's time for our Kia High Catch Challenge now. I've got 2 teams of 2. To my right, I've got Alistair and Josh from Wimbledon. You all right, boys?
Yeah!
Good, good. Having a good day?
Yeah?
Good. It could get better in a minute if you win this. And to my left, I've got Dylan and his dad, Nick. You all right, guys?
Yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm from Kent.
Nice. And I suppose your dad is as well?
Yeah.
Good. Great. So here's what's going to happen if you don't know. We're going to fire 6 balls per team, and whoever catches the most wins. It comes from quite high up in the stadium. All you've got to do is catch it. They're tennis balls, okay? So they will bounce a bit. But all the audience, look around everyone here in the Kia Oval, all around here, they're all going to get behind you. So guys, give everyone a cheer on it. As the ball goes in the air, we'll give it a whoa, and then hopefully a cheer as we catch it. Okay, are we ready? We'll stand to the side. We'll leave Ali and Josh there to go first. Okay, Kia Oval, let's cheer them on. Here we go. The first ball is incoming. Ooh. Oh, hey! Tell you what, it nearly hit our cameraman, Andy. Okay, here comes the second ball. Here we go. Ooh. Oh, I can see it. Oh! Just went through your arms there. Okay, ball number 3, halfway after this one. Here we go. Ooh. Oh, do you know what? I didn't even see that one, boys. Okay, halfway. Ball number 4. Hey! We got one. Okay, here's another 2. 2 to go. Ball number 5. Oh, I can see that one. Okay, next one. Let's see if we can end on 2. Our final ball. Ooh. Oh, he fell backwards though. But guys, they got 1 ball. Give a round of applause, the Oval. Okay, we got Dylan and his dad Nick up now. I'll be honest, I think Dylan is going to do the heavy lifting in this one. So come over here, boys. Over here, boys. Over here. Okay. Right, Dylan, Nick. Let's see the lady there. She's putting the tennis ball in the air. Here's ball number 1. Let's go. Whoa. It's a high one. Oh, Dad. You messed it up, Dad. Yeah, there's no watching, only 15,000 people. Okay, here we go. Ball number 2. Oh, it's a short one. Oh, you going to get on the bounce? Oh. See, they can go short or long. Oh, quick, get ready, Dylan. Here comes the 3rd one. What are we looking at here? Oh, a medium one, I'd say, a medium one. Oh, Dad! Oh, Dad, Dylan, your dad. Okay, halfway, don't worry. The boys hadn't done it in this one. Ball 4. Whoa! Yay! Dad saves the day. Okay, can you do this to win? 2 balls to go. Here's ball number 5. Oh, it's shallow. Oh, that was a tricky one, Dylan. Okay, here we go. Your final ball. Ball number 6. Of 6. Here we go. Ah, yay! Dad got 2. Come in, guys, come in. So, I do declare everyone, give a round of applause. Our winners are Dylan and his dad, Nick. But also a round of applause for our boys, Ali and Josh. Of course, we will all give you the same prize, courtesy of Surrey County Cricket Club. There you go, there's a cap for you, Captain. Did you enjoy the high ball challenge? Yeah, very much. Good. Okay, well, we will be back soon with our second innings as Somerset take to bat. as they're chasing 201 runs. We'll see you in a bit, and shortly you'll hear the voice of the lovely Sam Keir, who will give you a little innings break update.
Welcome back to the Kia Oval, where Somerset are now chasing 202. Surrey 201 for 6 from their 20 overs. Will Jacks leading the way with a half century. Dan Lawrence continuing his fine form from Friday night. I'm Yaz Rana, and alongside me is Ali Brown. Ali, what do you make of the first half? We saw lots and lots of runs scored on Friday night. 201 this time. How have Surrey gone?
Well, I think if this is a football context, I think Surrey would be 3-0 up.
3-0 up?
I think they're in a really good place. I think a par score is around about 170. I think if Surrey, if they are disciplined, I don't think this wicket is a 201 wicket, if I'm perfectly honest. I think they've Somerset gifted a number of balls in the field, and we're talking 25-30 runs probably in the field from byes, misfields, no balls. I think if Surrey can be more disciplined than that, especially with the big side on the gas holder, the big boundary on the gas holder side, I think they should have this game covered.
Reece Topley with the new ball. He's off the mark with a single. Will Smead starting the day as the leading run scorer in the Blast this year. Slightly different look to the Somerset top order this week. Tom Lambie opening the batting. Tom Banton, he misses out today through injury.
I think the other thing that Somerset, when you're chasing a score of 201, you want to go big. So sometimes you overhit, and I think what Surrey did very well was, especially on the larger side of the ground, they didn't miss out on too many balls. They picked up their twos, they ran well between the wickets, but Somerset know they've got to go ahead of the rate.
Steady start this from Reece Topley. What do you think the way to go on this pitch is for a seamer?
Well, to bowl with, to give no width, I think this, if you look at the two sides of the ground, one side, the Archbishop-Tennyson side of the ground, is certainly shorter. You're probably looking at about a 60-yard boundary, I'd say, something like that. And you're looking at probably an extra 10 yards on the other side. We saw Dan Lawrence get caught there, which would have gone for 6 on the other side. So protecting the short side.
Oh, beaten. Good carry from Reece Topley. We saw Riley Meredith for Somerset bowl with real pace. I think the Surrey seamers will be encouraged by that delivery.
Yeah, no, definitely. The ball's gone through. I mean, you could say 201, okay, you could turn around and say, oh, it's a really flat wicket, the bowlers can't bowl it. I thought some balls, it didn't all come through perfectly. Some balls sort of flew through with a bit of pace. You just can't give any width. And as so far, Surrey haven't.
Again, Topley beats Lammonby, and there's that extra bounce and carry that we were talking about. Really interesting to see how the Surrey spinners go as well. Somerset brought in the extra spinner into the 11, and though they were expensive towards the end of their spells, Leach and Galsworthy both got the ball to really grip at times.
Yeah, I mean, it held in the women's game as well, and I think the thing there is a short side, like at the hexagonal side of the ground, which the Ken Barrington stand end. That's where you want to target. How well can you hide the ball from that area?
Fuller driven through cover point, and that will be the first boundary of the Somerset run chase through Ryan Patel. Got a hand to it, but couldn't stop the ball. Lambie off the mark.
Yeah, good shot. Just a little bit of width and a touch full on that occasion. Good effort in the field, but it's come off with a fair amount of pace, and that had to stick. But in a way, quite quickly through some of the wickets on the Archbishop-Tennyson side.
Back of a length, nudged into the leg side. Lambie will retain the strike. 6 runs from the first Somerset over. Good start from Reece Topley. Just a bit of movement in the air, not something that we saw a lot of in the Somerset.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, going back to Riley Meredith bowled a ball to Will Jacks, didn't he? Just not long after he'd been hit, that actually shaped away. I know Will probably gave himself a little bit of room, but there was a little bit of shape early on. The white ball tends to swing, if it's going to swing, for the first 3 or 4 overs, and then starts to die off. But as I said, just the boundary there was just because of a little bit of width on offer, and was taken advantage of. But as I said, if Surrey can hit good areas, just sort of wicket to wicket, sort of around about waist high going through, you're looking for the ball to be driven back towards your mid-on, mid-off. That's what you want in the first few overs, and no width.
Skipper Sam Curran on from the pavilion end. Shot at stunts from Jason Roy.
Clearly been watching Ben Stokes going for the bowler's end.
It's a remarkable bit of fielding, that. So Stokesian to produce that bit of magic.
Stokesian.
Yeah.
I mean, he makes things happen, doesn't he? And I wouldn't be surprised, and I know in the Test match at Lords, I wouldn't be surprised if he plays a big part in that. He hit the wicket very hard, didn't he? And got the ball to really go through. Sort of gave the Indians a key to where to bowl, which didn't help the English batsmen because ball fell through waist high.
Slight misfield, a backward point, but doesn't cost Surrey an additional run. Curran bowling around the wicket to the right-handed Will Smead, over the wicket to the left-handed Tom Lambie. I think even just from the first two deliveries, it looks like he's going to bowl pretty straight.
Yeah, of course. I mean, look, as I said, as a batsman, you're looking to target the sort of the big Kia sign by the scoreboard on that side. If you can get any sort of width there, I quite like the fact that that fine leg's going back, because I think you'd certainly look to try and pick up towards that short side. You want maximum value, and that's where you'd find it.
Yeah, very little margin for error though. It's a left-arm seamer bowling to a left-hander with that short side. You think if you overpitch, mid-wicket, cow corner really comes into play. There's no boundary protection that straight.
I think the problem for Somerset is they have to target this power play. They've got to be at least 60 off the power play for me, because then the fielders go back, especially on the larger side, the gas holder side. And it'll become a lot harder then, because when you've got your boundary fielders, then you pick up your ones and your twos. But by that point, twos might not be enough.
It's a really good start this from Curran. Really good control of his length. Targeting sort of bail high. Nothing too full, nothing too short. Cover a mid-wicket in really tight. Pulled into the leg side. And is that taken?
No. Instantly said that it's on the half volley, but a great effort by Jamie Overton there at deep square leg. Love the way he actually came in for that, trying to really make that catch happen. You've got to be quick off the mark to actually get there, and he almost got there, but he knew straight away that got in on the bounce. Yeah,
either way, brilliant bit of fielding from Jamie Overton. Says straight away, no, that didn't carry.
It's as if he thought it was a yellow card if he'd actually... no, I didn't dive.
Curran into Lambie. Doesn't get hold of that one at all. Bit of inside edge saving him. It's a really good first over from Sam Curran though. Just 3 runs off the bat, 4 runs in total. Somerset 10 without loss after 2.
Well, there isn't a fair play award, is there? But like there is in football for sort of good play. But if there was, Jamie Overton would probably pick it up.
Of course, Jamie Overton up against his former side Somerset today. Hitting that over, say 2 shots in anger from the Somerset opening pair. That ball that almost carried to Jamie Overton and that final delivery from Lambie.
But I think Surrey have actually bowled very well in that period. You can't just swing willy-nilly and... So from a batting perspective, if you bowl straight, you can either hit across the line and the potential of getting bowled or LBW, or you can hit where you're meant to hit. And I think that's what Surrey have done very well. These first 13 balls, I think they've been excellent. There's no wides, no extras. They're putting the pressure back on Somerset and saying, right, you have to chase us. No freebies on offer.
Pace off to start the second over for Reece Topley. Width, cut, hard into the offside. But a really good piece of fielding again from Jamie Overton. He saves 1 as the Somerset pair scramble back for 3. Looks like he's in a bit of discomfort.
I think that probably hit him on the forearm. It's a brilliant piece of fielding. Everything we didn't see from Somerset. I think he's probably got forearm on that. He's just overdived a little bit, and that's why that's probably hit him, halfway between his hand and his elbow.
Very much in the game early on, Jamie Overton. Yeah, if you're just joining us, Surrey excellent with the bat, 201. Bowled him! Swing and a miss for Tom Lambie. Reece Topley strikes early. Lambie departs for 6, Somerset 13 for 1.
And that's what we said about if you bowl straight, the option is to go and hit across the line, but if you miss it, you're out. And Surrey have been excellent. I think excellent with the bat. They set a fantastic target, but also with the ball. They've backed that up to this point. They bowl, they've been really good. They've been good in the field as well. And I think they're showing this is a battle of the top two, probably in the competition for me on paper. And they've both performed very well in the Southern group, but at present Surrey comfortably ahead.
Very disciplined start, both with the ball and in the field. And although Somerset bowled well over the course of the 20 overs, they were sloppy in the field. And that's a wicket. The delivery after that excellent bit of work from Jamie Overton in the outfield only saved 1 run, but it meant a change of strike. Lammonby on strike instead of Smead. And first up, Topley gets the breakthrough.
Surrey are completely on it tonight to this point, and they have to put down a marker because finals day you could see both of these sides in the 4. They're both likely to get a home quarter-final, sorry. If Surrey were to lose this and be 4-0 in the last 4, it's a massive mental edge to Somerset.
Tom Kohler-Cadmore, the new man in. Yep, Surrey and Somerset faced each other on finals day last year. Somerset victors on that occasion. Runs for James Rew and Sean Dixon in the run chase. There's a developing rivalry between these two clubs. Always up towards the top of the South Group in the blast. Well, that beats Kohler-Cadmore. Pace off from Topley.
It's really good that the line, the length are all really good, and Kohler-Cadmore, he played very well last week, but this is a totally different setup. Obviously a target. He knows he's got to go early, probably earlier than he'd like. There's no time to just sort of play himself in, just making sure he gets a run a ball. He knows he's got to target boundaries because that run rate will be going up to 11s, 12s and above.
Dabs it past short third for 4. Very deliberately played. Pierces that actually quite small gap between slip and short third, and Kohler-Cadmore is up and running.
Perfectly placed. As I said, he's setting up the way he sets up. He's looking to target anything that's length that he can hit over mid-wicket, but at the same time anything with a little bit of width. And there wasn't really a lot of width on offer there. It's just a good shot.
Still a pretty good over for Surrey. 7 runs from it, and the wicket of Tom Lammonby. That required run rate that started just above 10 runs per over is just below 11 runs per over. Just 18 balls into the run chase.
But if Surrey get through these next 3 overs quite well, so let's say 45 is the 28 off the next 3 overs, I think they'd be really happy with that. I said, I think with the fielders dropping back.
That before, bit of width from Chris Jordan. Smead throws his hands at the ball. It's a thick outside edge, but with that extra pace, 85 mph, that flies over short third, and Smead picks up 4.
Yeah, he's bowled with good pace, hasn't he, all through the group stages. I think Chris Jordan, he's been very impressive this year. Bowled with an extra yard, I think. Maybe it's the weight of the no captaincy and the freedom that he's playing with, but certainly anything with any width and that pace is going to rocket off to the boundary.
In the air, it falls short. So it's exactly that sort of delivery that Jordan has had success with this season. It feels like there's real clarity over his role with the ball this season. Obviously known in international cricket for his arsenal of slower balls, but he's bowled with really good pace this season.
Like a renewed energy. I mean, I think the game against Kent, I thought he was sensational. Probably the best I've seen him bowl in the T20. But he's just got that extra zip off the wicket this year, I think.
Kohler-Cadmore on strike for the first time against Chris Jordan. Width and cut hard to the backward point boundary for 4 more. Probably less width this time compared to the first boundary in the over, But Kohler-Cadmore just gave himself a bit of room, preempted what Jordan was likely to try and do, and he picks up 4.
Not a bad ball at all, really. It's just he has created that width, and there still wasn't a lot on offer. That's probably about 4th, 5th stump, which is exactly really what you want to bowl. But I said he's timed it sweetly and again found the boundary.
Prompts a change in field. Backward point goes back to the boundary. The man at deep mid-wicket comes into the ring. That proactive footwork from Kohler-Cadmore changing the Surrey field. Fuller nailed again through cover for 4. Really good start this from Kohler-Cadmore. And Surrey under a bit of pressure.
Yeah, another good shot, well timed, 88 miles an hour, and has rocketed off. Just giving himself a fraction of room to hit through that offside. That is the shorter part of the boundary, and we saw Riley Meredith when he was bowling at that end was really targeting the ribs and making sure there was sort of no width whatsoever. Chris Jordan hasn't given a lot of width, but Kohler-Cadmore has created it.
It's the first time Jordan's gone that little bit fuller as well. How does he respond here? That'll be 4 more. And off the bat, he swung hard, didn't get hold of it at all. But with that extra pace from Jordan, 88 miles per hour, that flies past Ben Foakes behind the stumps. And this is a really significant over for Somerset. Slow start to the run chase, 17 runs from the first 3 overs, but 17 runs off the first 5 deliveries of Chris Jordan's first over.
Yeah, they needed to find an over like this, but Surrey's still in a very good position.
And 4 more, the 5th boundary of the over. Tom Kohler-Cadmore so strong through the offside, he's off to a flyer, 20 off 7.
Yeah, look, all good shots. I mean, a little bit hurried by the shorter ball, but you'd say a very good over for Somerset, and Tom Kohler-Cadmore really finding the middle of the bat on many an occasion, and just what Somerset needed.
There's been a few times this season when opposition batters against Chris Jordan haven't been able to get him off the square. As you can see, Kohler-Cadmore will be really proactive with his footwork. He's given himself room a couple of times, and he's made balls look wider than they actually are.
I think it comes from confidence. I think Kohler-Cadmore had a very good innings against Essex, at Essex, and I think you come in with a bit of confidence. There only is one way to go. I mean, as I said, Somerset have only lost 2 games this year, and they'll be wanting to make sure that's the case by the end of today. They're a long way behind the run rate for me, but they can only go one way, and he started really well.
A very good start from Reece Topley, just 13 runs off the bat from his first 2.2 overs, given a 3rd over in the power play.
The matchup's better, isn't it, Topley against Kohler-Cadmore, because he's coming over the wicket. He can cramp him a little bit. He's trying to find that room. He did find that room where he got it between slip and a sort of a wide gully. But it certainly favours the lack of room that Topley might give him. And with that man coming up, he's going wide outside off stump.
Cramps him up for room. Yeah, a bit of protection on the leg side for Topley. Will Jacks is stationed at the deep mid-wicket, shorter side of the ground towards the Archbishop Tennyson School.
He's really saying to Kohler-Cadmore, are you going to walk across your stumps and try and pick me off? Because that's what you're going to have to do. But he is looking through the offside as his main angle of attack.
Goes early and dropped by Ben Foakes. Tom Kohler-Cadmore stepped across his stumps, looked to take the ball over short fine leg early. Topley responded with a slower delivery. Ben Foakes got to the ball, wasn't able to hold on to it. Would have been a brilliant catch.
Like hen's teeth, aren't they? Drop catches from Ben Foakes. I thought he almost expected it to go a bit further. I think it was a little bit closer to him than he thought.
appeal for LBW, but
The stumps will need to be raised another couple of feet for that to be an LB.
that was a very early walk across from the umpire.
He wasn't interested at all. No.
Going back to the drop catch, I also think that it was perhaps done by a lack of pace. Topley took the ball off. Kohler-Cadmore didn't really get hold of it either.
I think Ben thought it was coming quicker, and I thought it'd be a fraction further to dive. He almost, a little bit like Jamie Overton, just a little bit closer than he'd imagined.
Smead used his feet and finds the long off boundary. Needed boundary for Somerset. 6 runs from the over. The visitors are 44 for 1 after 5. 1 over of the power play. In the power play, you're only allowed 2 fielders outside the 30-yard circle, so not a lot of boundary protection. After the 6th over, you're allowed 5 men back.
I think he's been outstanding. Those 3 overs, 18, is exactly what you need on here. And, I think rightfully so. I think Chris Jordan just coming out of the attack when we have Adam Zampa who find a little bit of spin. Good chance to get Tom Kohler-Cadmore. He's got to play a completely different game. And then I think, with the fielders dropping out, I think that'll be really hard for Somerset to catch up on the rate.
Yeah, another look at that drop catch in the previous over. Topley, almost wheeling away in celebration before the ball got to folks. Yeah, you feel like this is a big over. Zampa bowling the final over of the power play. Fires it in down the leg side. Keep an eye on that speed gun with Zampa. Really varies his pace.
I like that because I think Tom Kohler-Cadmore will be looking to hit the ball over extra cover. Mid-off extra cover will be a target, the shorter part of the boundary.
Pace off this time, but again cramping Kohler-Cadmore for room, and very good start to the over for the Aussie overseas. 2 dots
to the wicket as well, and basically he's asking him to pull him to deep mid wicket. That's where the most likely option is for a ball that goes into the wicket.
Just a single this time. His length and control of length is really, really impressive, because he looks to bowl the ball almost as short as possible without it being pullable.
Yeah, look, he's bowling a really good pace as well, isn't he? And you've got the Jack Russell of modern cricket behind the stump. So if you come down, you're likely to just walk straight off if you come out of your crease. So a really nice start for Adam Zampa.
Pulled and behind square. Smead finds the gap, picks up 4.
He's played that nicely. I think he's looked at the first 3 balls and has thought, right, I'm going to sit back. And as I said, he's pulled that quite nicely to square leg.
Again, a well-timed boundary for Somerset. Very good start to the over for Zampa. Down the leg side, Ben Folkes gets a glove on it to prevent it racing away to the boundary. Zampa's going to have to deliver that one again.
60 miles an hour though, he's bowling it. It's about what I bowl off my full run. The maximum effort.
Very little margin for error. See there, Zampa bowling really straight. He's got no protection on the offside boundary. Kohler-Cadmore looking to create width for himself, unable to pierce the offside field on that occasion. Final ball off the power play. Slightly slow, a bit more air. They think about 2. And they get 2. 9 runs off the over. And it's the end of the Somerset power play. 53 for 1 after 6 overs. Take a look at highlights from the power play. Have a change in the commentary box. Phil Walker on, replacing Ali Brown.
Yes, thank you, Yaz. Cheers, Ali. Got a game on here. So much depends on these two. You fancy Smeed and Kohler-Cadmore. Will Smeed's been a real breakout year for him. He's top of the run scoring charts across the country. And gone. Bang on cue. Easy pickings, really. It was a longish half volley from Sam Curran, but I just think he took half a yard of pace off it. Smeed was just through his shot. Nanosecond too early, and Reece Topley takes an easy catch at extra cover. So, 2 down, and the danger man goes. Simmered today, did Will Smeed, without really quite getting going.
Yeah, sometimes in T20 cricket you just got to stick to your guns as a fielding side. Opposition are out to play well, and they had a good 10-minute period there. Kohler-Cadmore getting off to a flyer, but Curran sticking to his guns. Very good start for him. Just 3 runs from his first 7 deliveries and the wicket. The dangerous Will Smeed, the leading run scorer in the competition this year. This feels like a really important passage of play. Experienced duo of Abel and Kohler-Cadmore. A lot of runs left to get for the visitors.
Slower ball. Almost the moon ball. This is his new variation. The slow, slow, slow.
49.5 mph, a good 10 mph down on what Adam Zampa was delivering at the other end.
Yeah, it's like a trolling delivery, isn't it? It's saying, do you dare? How many shots can you conceive in your mind as that ball loops its way down? Short this time, mixing it all up. Umpires in agreement. You'll have to bowl that one again. Just a tiny bit too high, a bit too short. Good thinking, though. Very rarely misses out in both disciplines. Bagged the first baller, Sam Curran. He's back in the game straight away with the ball. Cut away for 4. All the way, glorious shot, waited for it. It's there to hit. Kohler-Cadmore right under his eyes. Puffs it away. Ryan Patel's at backward point, but he's not really in the game. And Jamie O as well. Deep cover, deep point. Only 15, 20 yards to his left, but he had no chance either. So, as long as they can keep picking off these boundaries, they'll remain in the game here. Jaffa. Evidence again of the carry and zip off this surface.
Yeah, Kohler-Cadmore has been really strong through the offside. But brilliant response from Sam Curran. Beautiful delivery, angling across Kohler-Cadmore. I don't think Somerset will panic with the required run rate just yet. We saw the other night, Phil, just how high the required rate can get, and teams, the chasing sides, not panicking. A few years ago, you'd say as soon as it got above 11.5, 12 runs and over, you'd see batters lose their shape a little bit. You could sense the panic in them, but Surrey, they needed 13s and a bit at one point, and were fine. They backed themselves to stick to their game and know that they just need to pick 1 or 2 boundaries and over, and you can stay in the hunt.
Yeah, and it's perhaps a slightly obvious thing to say, but confidence is so much of the battle in these games where it's played in the mind. Another one ticks by, 61 for 2 then, 7 gone. We've seen teams who can't buy a win and contrive to lose games that seem there for the taking, and when you get on a run such as Somerset have been on for the last 3 or 4 years, then you pluck wins from nowhere, really. And so they will be more than comfortable in taking this game deep, knowing that they have in Sean Dixon and Lewis Gregory, two players who are not just in form, but whose strike rates this year are top notch. They've both registered a couple of 50s, but they've done them quickly. Lewis Gregory is striking at 182. Sean Dixon at 158. So with those two in next, this game will stay alive, you fancy, all the way down the pipe. You just need to keep those wickets in hand and keep ticking away. Overton into the attack.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he goes, because pace has been expensive so far. Riley Meredith going at more than 10 runs and over, despite looking really hostile at times. And Chris Jordan's first over going for 21 here, and he's been a standout Surrey seamer in the Blast this year.
I think his form of pace bowling, though, snarly, back of a length, splice deliveries, and with real accuracy as well, they become very hard to get away with a leg side dominant field. So that might be an option for them, just to look to run hard, pick up the twos into that space. Just a single there because it was straight to Will Jacks, but they may just be prepared just to sit on Overton here, take him for eights or nines. Very hard bowler to get away. Become a top-class T20 all-rounder, really. Big one. Part of the Test squad as well, of course. Missed out this week. Would have been in the conversation to play at Lord's.
Added dynamic to this is we've got 3 overs of Adam Zampa, so it's not just straightforward 11.12 runs and over. You've got to factor in, you've got 3 overs of genuinely world-class wrist spin to contend with.
Helped around the corner by Abel, but that leg side populated field is going to be hard to bisect.
I think that was one of the aspects of that amazing Surrey chase of the night, is that Surrey knew who they were targeting.
Who got the distance?
Well, Imad Wasim was brilliant up top, but then expensive towards the end of his spell.
Or bowled by Jamie O.
And young Ned Leonard, formerly of Somerset, was one of the standout seamers in the Blast this year. He was bowling really well up top, but they had to bring him back slightly earlier than they probably would have wanted. And they paid him a bit more respect for that third over, I think, knowing that Glamorgan didn't have their standout bowlers available at the very end.
They were interested in 2, but again, tight work on the boundary keeps it down to 1, and so a tidy, miserly over.
That's a brilliant over in the context of this game, just 4 runs from it. At required rate, nearly 11.5 runs and over now.
It'll be Zampa then to continue.
What do you reckon with the ends for Zampa, Phil? We saw him start at the pavilion end, now on from the Vauxhall end, bowling with a short leg side boundary, 2 right-handers in.
Yeah, but it's against the natural turn and angle of the leg spin, so I don't mind it at all. And nor does Tom Kohler-Cadmore. That's second tier, folks. That is a huge one.
That's nearly third tier. That's an enormous hit from Kohler-Cadmore. Using his feet, gets to the pitch of the ball.
And it's worth saying, yes, that would have been 6 anywhere from any end in the biggest cricket grounds in the world. That was all muscle, all forearms. Echoes of Andrew Simons in how he's hit that.
It's good, though, from Somerset. Don't want to pay too much respect to Zampa. Don't want to force yourself into a position where Zampa just is allowed to bowl 4 overs to 25, and then you're looking at 13s from the other end.
Down the track, Tom Abel. Punched into the onside. He won't mind that. Kohler-Cadmore he's going some here. The Beans are going. He's on 38 from just 22. And that's straight up in the air. Someone wants it. Keeper it is. Ben Folkes, easily done. And so he has to go. Similar story really with Will Smead. Early promise. And they've been cut off in their prime. 3 down now, Somerset. And while you hesitate to say this game has fallen to Surrey, they are certainly in the box seat.
That's a massive moment. Zamba hit for 6 earlier in the over from Kohler-Cadmore. Just drags his length back a little bit. Kohler-Cadmore unable to get to the pitch of the ball. And though he added impetus to the Somerset innings, that's a key batter gone with a lot of runs left to get. 129 still required for the visitors from 11.2 overs.
So, Sean Dixon it is. Very versatile player. Been a star for Somerset. Useful red ball opener, top order bat. He redefined himself in white ball cricket as a middle order finisher. Saw him sparkle on finals day. And as I said earlier, he's in good form this year, a couple of 50s already. He tends to get them quick. Zampa though, showing his class there. Just has that sense that when someone's coming at him, he's got all the options. Just held it back. A bit more air. Google this time. His control is as good as anyone in the world. So trying to climb into it, but skidding onto him. So just a single for Tom Abel, who retains the strike. Another successful over for Surrey, who are just chipping away. 3 down for 75. It's going to take something special here from Somerset to pull this one out the bag. Run rate creeping up to over 11.5 now.
Well, an illustration of the size of the task ahead of them. They hit the first ball of that over for 6. But at the end of the over, the required run rate's gone up. Just 4 runs from the final 5 deliveries in that over. It's interesting comparing Zamba to the other leading wrist spinners in the white ball game. I suppose from a speed point of view, he's similar to someone like Rashid Khan, but...
So just having a look here, Ben Folkes has done himself a mischief, unfortunately, and he's having to relinquish the pads. Dan Lawrence, for the second time this weekend, is stepping into the breach. Not immediately obvious what's happened to Ben Folkes, but he's certainly hobbling off. Still doing it with a bit of swagger, even with a limp.
How many injuries have Surrey had to their keepers this season? Dan Lawrence, who would have thought a week ago that he'd be keeping twice in as many games?
You can be sure he fancies it, though. You can be sure he backs himself.
Well, I thought it was interesting how there was no discussion as to who would keep on Friday night when Laurie Evans went down. And must be said, he kept for the majority of that Glamorgan innings and was extremely tidy. There wasn't any notable errors with the gloves. And it wasn't just a lack of errors, it's how he looked. He looked like a proper keeper.
So, hard lines for Ben Folkes, making his first T20 appearance of the year and having to hobble off. Goes without saying, but we hope he's okay. Nothing too drastic. So Lawrence it is. Resuming behind the stumps. Natural cricketer. He'll be fine.
It's a very well used bat that Tom Abel's got. Must be one of his favourites.
Straight up in the air. Who wants it? I'd imagine Dan Lawrence does. Yeah, he's claiming it. And he plucks it out of the skies. So Somerset are capitulating here. 4 down now for 75. And Tom Abel really never got going. And Lawrence, well, that's a nice one to be under first up with the gloves on. You fancy that regardless, but with the gauntlets, it's a beauty. So we were saying about Jamie Overton, what a difficult bowler he is to attack. As he bowls that naturally gnarly length. It's climbing at you, it's not quite short, and it's certainly not in the slot. And Tom Abel fell foul of it. Neither a pull nor a drive. And all he can do is just top edge it into the blemish-free skies here in South London.
Well, he's really just cramped the batters up for room throughout. He's been bowling with plenty of protection on the leg side, and he's bowled quickly and he's bowled straight. And there's very, very little width for the right-handers to work with.
Quick single, but they both went immediately, so they've done well. So 126 to win, approaching the halfway point. It's going to take something very special here. But Somerset have their 2 gun batters in. Both new to the crease, Gregory and Dixon. If they can settle, then they have the power game. Gregory just pulls away at the last. It's been a lovely atmosphere here today as well. Asking in the sunshine. It's got a nice Sunday afternoon family feel about this. Short one and well directed. Dot ball. Pressure mounting. Changing the field, Will Jacks is now going out on the pull at deep mid-wicket. So, either going to explore the middle of the pitch or the double bluff. There it is, off the hip. Tidily played by Sean Dixon, but just a single.
That's what the field's set for.
Yep.
So, very, very difficult for Somerset to create boundary scoring opportunities at the moment. Mid-on, mid-off or up. Expect it to be back of a length into the pitch and straight. Kohler-Cadmore was able to engineer width against Chris Jordan in the power play.
Brilliant again by Overton, who just saw that little shift into the leg side and follows him right on the bootlaces.
That required run rate, Phil, spiralling.
Yep. Excellent again. 2 top-class overs. Just 8 runs from them and that wicket. Jamie Overton turning the screw here. So the halfway point, Somerset in the mire, 79 for 4. Still needing a distant 123. It'll take something special. And you feel like it hinges really on these two. Ben Green hits a long ball at 7. Lewis Goldsworthy's a very useful scurrier at number 8. And then it's the bowlers, Miguel Pretorius, Meredith and Jack Leach. So it really is now or never. These two have to build something substantial and do it quickly. Easily said than done. Adam Zampa, one of the greats, with a white ball in his hand into his 3rd over.
Getting to a point in the run chase where they just cannot afford too many quiet overs. 12.51 runs an over required.
Down the track and out the ground. Who's under it? Oh, through the mitts. Lad in the cap. It's a valiant effort. Putting a brave face on it.
It's good from Dixon. Somerset have to be aggressive at this point. They can't sit on Zampa. As good as he is, he's still got 10 deliveries to bowl. They've got to make sure they don't put themselves under too much pressure when they're up against the other Surrey bowlers. And there is a short leg side boundary to work with.
Tossed up. Taunting and goading him really to go again. Dixon happy just to bunt it up the ground. You're right about Daniel Lawrence. He's got all the mannerisms, all the affectations behind the stumps. He's been working on his keeping, clearly.
Even the way he juggles the ball between his 2 gloves. The way he really squats down low, comes up late. The stance, everything about him.
Down the track again, but straight to Overton. Good shot for none.
Everything about Lawrence looks like he's been a keeper all his life.
He's trying to complete cricket, isn't he? Flatter one this time, brilliantly done. Every delivery is an event with Adam Zampa, and a field change again this time. Jamie Overton joins Tom Curran behind square on the offside inside the ring. They bring Will Jacks over into shortish extra cover. So 3 men now in the offside ring. Tossed outside the eye line. Cuffed away, but there's plenty of cover out there. So another one rolls by, and this run rate just keeps on climbing now. The best part of 13 and over required. 9 to go.
It's amazing that it's the number of dot balls Zampa is able to bowl. Twice in his last 2 overs, he's gone for 6 early on in the over, and at the end of it, Surrey, you'd say, have won the over overall. Jamie Overton to continue. He's bowled really quickly. So quickly that one of his slower balls in the previous over was 78 mph. Nearly touching 90.
Playing a miss. Lost all shape. Lewis Gregory, element of desperation about that.
He bowled with good pace in the One County Championship game he's played this summer too. He's what you describe as a rhythm bowler. I think he's someone who, once he's going well, bowls really, really well. Always interesting to look at what the speed gun's saying for Jamie Overton.
Clubbed. Running hard. Back for 2. They need boundaries though here. They need to win every over basically from here on in. Looks fit and strong as well though, doesn't he, Jamie Overton? We saw that in that championship game you mentioned. Sometimes you can look a bit bulky coming back from injuries and so on, but he looks in really good svelte shape, running in hard. I do wonder if England may yet call upon him as the Test series rolls along. 2 to come, of course, after this one.
I think the locations of the last 2 tests are interesting as well. Old Trafford, probably one of the slower test venues. If ever England were to play 2 spinners, it would be there. And then the final test here at the Kia Oval, one of the quicker pitches going.
Awkward, caught and bowled, brilliant. Yeah, this has been Jamie Overton at his absolute best. Bowling as well as he's ever bowled in his career this year. He looks loose as well. Really getting through his action. Every ball is up around the chest area, the midriff. So hard to get into as a batter. And Sean Dixon, the latest to go. 5 down now, Somerset, and staring down the barrel.
Genuinely hostile bowling from Jamie Overton. 86 mph, dug into the pitch. Shoulder height, and Dixon's a good player. He was rushed there. Gets in a really awkward position. And it's a well-deserved second wicket for Jamie Overton. And now looking at the equation, Somerset 5 down with 8.2 overs remaining. The required rate pretty much 13.5 runs every over. Well, Jamie Overton's pretty much going at 4s.
Ben Green hits a long ball. Very, very useful lower order hitter, but this is a big ask. Yeah, this is really mean, menacing stuff here from the Somerset native, Jamie Overton. What a joy to be able to call upon him, really, in these middle overs. This is the kind of stuff that the best teams have. They have the bruisers in the middle overs alongside the mystery spinners. It's a great combination. That may be just a bit too short. Yep. Overton won't mind too much. He's enjoying himself. Give me another one, he's saying.
Well, we're talking off air, comparing how Surrey line up their bowling attack compared to other sides. And Surrey today have 8 guys who've bowled in international cricket. So loads of options. But sometimes that can make life a little bit more difficult for a captain. It's not as straightforward to know what you're going to do each time. It's harder to have set plans. But what it does mean is that if you have someone who's had an off day, that doesn't matter too much. They don't have to bowl all 4 overs, and you can adapt to what is happening out there. So I don't think the plan necessarily at the start of the day would have been for Jamie Overton to bowl 3 on the bounce in the middle overs. But he's bowled so well that you can do that. And there will be cover elsewhere. Chris Jordan, bowler of the competition so far for Surrey. Expensive first up, but that's okay. They've got cover.
Jordan is now returning. As Yaz said, uncharacteristically expensive in the power play. Went for 5 boundary 4s in 1 over. He is now back from the Vauxhall end. 8 to go, 110 needed. It will take something spectacular from here for Somerset to get close, but you never know. They have plucked out so many wins in recent years from nowhere. They've almost forgotten how to lose. They've won 10 of their 12 games in this year's competition. Surrey are not far behind them, by the way. They've lost just 3 games themselves in 11. But yeah, it's been one of those ominous performances, knowing that these two may yet come face to face later on in the tournament. Good money bets for finals days, both of these teams. And Surrey have rather bullied their opponents today.
Really good start this from Chris Jordan, expensive up top, but I think part of that over was the brilliant batting from Tom Kohler-Cadmore in the power play. Just 2 men allowed in the ring, used his feet well, and he's come back well here, just 1 from his first 2 balls.
Flicked hard into the gap. Really good placement. Desperately needed boundary fought. Lewis Gregory's the key man. All rests on him. He has to play basically the innings of his life.
He does indeed. That required run rate, pretty much 14 runs and over, even with that boundary. Just had confirmation, Phil, that if Surrey are to win today, it doesn't just confirm quarter-final qualification, it confirms a home quarter-final.
Yeah, these two have been far and away. It's been relentless, really, how they've dominated the South group. It's been a more mixed story in the North group. And below these two, everyone's beaten everyone else in the South. These two have just been playing a different level to everybody else. Seems like we have a ball issue, surprise, surprise. There we go.
I think I've seen that sight too many times in the last few days, Phil.
Yeah, it's cricket's crisis of the week.
It's something that really does get people quite passionate when they talk about it, but it's one of those things where if you're talking to people who aren't into their cricket at all, they find it totally baffling.
So Gregory, just a single, not enough. Has to keep swinging from the hip. There's no other option, really.
It's been a very professional performance from Surrey. Lots of contributions with the bat. Really disciplined with the ball. Excellent work in the field. The only mishap really was that drop from Ben Folkes. Difficult chance earlier on.
Beaten for pace, Ben Green, barely threw his shot. He's still got it, hasn't he, Chrissy Jordan? Just a natural, quick. It's in his bones. Absolutely no change in his action over the years, in his physique. He's just born to do it.
That required run rate, 14.51 runs and over. We're into miracle territory for Somerset.
That is fine and indeed four. Deep third was pretty fine, but not that fine. So useful boundary skirted off the outside edge by Ben Green. Still, as Yaz says, that run rate is climbing inexorably. 100. Even 100 needed, but only 7 overs in which to get it.
But it's 10 runs from the over, and there's still a boundary short of the rate. 2 boundaries in it, but that's not enough for the moment. It looks like Jamie Overton's going to bowl through. How will Somerset take him on? The plan's not exactly been subtle, but it's been so effective. Running in hard, hitting the pitch hard. Loads of protection on the boundary, on the longer leg side boundary. And Somerset just haven't really been able to get him away. Change in the commentary box. Ali Brown will take over from Phil Walker for the rest of this contest. How impressed have you been by Jamie Overton today?
Yeah, he's been really good. Obviously with the ball, he's excellent. I thought he was very good in the field as well. He's just, I think, Surrey have not just batted and bowled better than Somerset today. Their fielding has been on a different level, and I think that's one of the biggest changes between the two teams.
They run hard for 2. But 2s don't really do it for Somerset at this point.
Yeah, I mean, look, 16 off 3.2 overs is on this wicket is very impressive. Somerset have to go. They are 5 wickets down, so really the game, you'd say, is in the bag. But Surrey doing things very professionally today. A ruthless performance to this point.
Pace off from Overton and very nearly gets himself a caught and bowl opportunity.
But I think that's the difference as well. There is that variation. I think I mentioned earlier, I thought their IQ is really good in terms of how they've looked to just not just bashed when they've gone to the longer side. They've looked to take their 2s, which they've done. They run very well. They run hard. And their variation with the ball, I felt Somerset were a bit more on the pacey side of things, but got picked off a little bit because of that.
Goes down the ground. Sam Curran underneath it, unable to haul it back though. It's the first time really that a Somerset batter has been able to attack Overton straight. Been very economical so far.
I mean, that is the shortest part of the ground, so players will be trying to target that. And I said Chris Jordan hit a great 6 off Riley Meredith down to that side of the ground. But that of all the places, you're looking at 45 yards as opposed to probably 70 in other areas, 60 or 70.
Short again, and again Somerset batter unable to take him on to that longer side. Yeah, in that previous delivery we saw Overton slip in a Yorker in the previous over, just misses his length on that occasion.
But it's the mix of pace as well. That's 86 miles an hour, so you're not sure. You want to keep the batter guessing. You've got to make sure that he's bowled a few slower balls. He nearly got the caught and bowled because of that. And then his effort ball, you're not quite. You're trying to set yourself as a batsman, and it's very hard to do so.
Final delivery of Jamie Overton's spell. It's pulled straight to Tom Curran at deep fine leg, and it ends an outstanding spell of bowling for the Surrey all-rounder against his former club. 4 overs on the bounce, 2 for 23, and it leaves Somerset now needing 90 runs off the final 6 overs. Surrey on their way to securing a home quarter-final.
Yeah, you feel that 15 and over is just a little bit too much. They're going to have to target the short side of the ground, and of course, the long side of the ground. You're not going to pick up your 6s that will potentially reduce that target. So, to a ball which is you'd say is good scoring is going to leave them well short, and they've been very good to this point.
Oh, direct hit would have been really close. Sam Curran back into the attack. Surrey skipper from the Vauxhall end. He's been very tidy too, going at less than a run a ball so far.
Judging by the reaction, that was close. 3 stumps to aim at. I don't think it missed by much.
I think the sign of how much Somerset have been scrambling between the wickets, also a sign of just how well Surrey have bowled. Another super slower ball from Sam Curran, but this time it's picked by Gregory, and it's
straight into the seats.
Yes, that's gone good 10-15 rows back. It's not a particularly long hit to that part of the ground. That delivery just 47 mph from Sam Curran.
I mean, he does bowl slower and even slower balls, but I think as a batsman you try and set yourself for that.
Pulled down the ground and well caught by Jason Roy along on. Gregory didn't get hold of this one, and Curran responds to being hit for 6 the previous delivery with the wicket of the Somerset skipper. Somerset 6 down and looking well out of the contest.
Straight into the buckets of Jason Roy. As soon as you realised it wasn't going over the ropes, there was only one thing that was going to happen there, and Lewis Gregory goes.
Yeah, I know we saw a remarkable comeback here at the Kia Oval on Friday night, but Somerset needing more than a miracle at this point. Now, their skipper gone. Lewis Goldsworthy comes in at number 8. More than handy operator, but that required rate of 15 runs and over. I mean, even this over is a good illustration of their task. They hit 6 of the first 3 balls of the over, but they're still behind the rate within the over.
They've got to target this end because the leg side, that's when you need to hit probably a couple of 6s and a couple of 4s. I mean, that's where you need to be. They need a 20 over, and they're not going to get it.
Slight change in the Somerset batting order. Pretorius promoted above Goldsworthy to number 8.
Mixed things up well, haven't they, Surrey? They're just a change of pace, length. They haven't bowled with too much width. I mean, what width has been on offer, has been sort of taken advantage of by Somerset. But they've just been really, really good today in all factors. I think you'd give their batting a sort of a 10 out of 10. Their fielding is right up there, and so as a bowling unit, they need to put in a big performance against this Somerset side, and they're certainly doing that.
Short. That's hurried Pretorius. It's interesting that Curran's gone short for the first time today. First 2 delivery to Pretorius.
Well, he's unpredictable, isn't he? I mean, if you're the batsman, you're thinking, oh, come on, how many slower balls is he likely to bowl? And you've got to gamble. You've got to gamble on the slower ball, which you think you can put into the stands. But he's been anything but predictable.
Final delivery of Curran's 3rd over. Short again, given wide by the square leg umpire. He's going to have to bowl that one again.
Close live, didn't it?
Third short delivery in a row.
As Phil said, the Somerset umpire is in fact a player with a pink top on.
Good finish from Sam Curran. 10 runs from the over. Somerset 1-2-1 for 6. 5 overs remaining. Adam Zampa looks like he'll come back on from the pavilion end. Ali, this is the final home fixture for Surrey in the group stage of the Blast this year. What have you made of their campaign?
I think this is probably one of their best performances, actually, in all formats. I think they've won 8, lost 3. Playing Somerset first up, they're a bit slow out the blocks, I think. They're capable of a performance like this, and this sort of performance would win the competition if they can replicate that in the quarter-final, semi-final and final. I just feel there's a couple of times against the likes of Glamorgan and Kent, they've got a little bit closer than you would have hoped. They're sort of finding their way on paper. They're probably the favourites. Their group stage has been, I'd say, very good. It's just a matter of what players they are allowed for finals day. I think that's key. You were talking earlier about the fact that if they're full complement, you'd be like the Harlem Globetrotters of T20 with everything. They've got Jamie Smith and others that could potentially play. But whatever team they put out is going to be a good one, and on their day, very, very beatable. I really like the energy that Sam has brought as captain. I think the players have really reacted to that. I was speaking to TC before the competition started, and he said he wanted to win this competition more than any other. And he's putting that ahead of a possible 4-4 for the championship. So
high class bowling this from Zampa. ... to start the 16th over.
Now, part of that could also be because Sam is captain. They're very close as brothers. But also, Surrey haven't won this competition for 20 years. And with the talent they've got,
Pulled. It's gone very high. Oh, dropped. A deep backward square leg. Will Jacks had a lot of ground to cover. And diving backwards, the ball was just behind him as he dived, unable to hold on to it. Would have been a very, very good catch.
A difficult catch. You felt they're both going for the ball, and there's the potential. I've seen some quite horrific collisions. Probably Rory Burns is being the worst with Moses Henriquez.
Uses his feet. And this time it is taken by Jason Roy. It's a shorter side of the ground, but Ben Green didn't get hold of it. Adam Zampa picks up his second wicket, and it's another good catch by Jason Roy in the outfield.
Yeah, another easy snaffle at deep mid-off. I mean, that was a favoured position of mine, deep mid-off. I think it's a place you want a good fielder, because players are going to target it, especially with the ball spinning away from the bat and the shortest part of the ground. But of course, with that lure of the short boundary, if you don't get all of it, you're going to pick up your wickets. And another good one for Adam Zampa.
Yeah, Zampa, one ball left in his spell, 2 for 28 from 3.5 overs. What do you think makes Zampa such an effective white ball spinner?
Well, the fact is, I mean, for a spinner, as an aggressive batsman, you want to try and get down the wicket, and he doesn't necessarily allow you that. He bowls it into the wicket and sort of doesn't give you much room. So he's a very different bowler to some of the others that you might see in the competition. He's obviously got an awful lot of experience with Australia, and he's very, very hard to get away.
Galsworthy looking to use his feet first up. Fortunate not to lose his wicket. Some brilliant final over for Zampa. 1 run and 1 wicket from his fourth. He finishes with figures of 3 for 28 from his 4 overs. Somerset 122 for 7. This game is pretty much done.
It's also the pace he bowls. That's at 53. He's been up to 60 miles an hour, so it's the variable pace that he bowls, and also he bowls it into the wicket. So at times you're thinking that might turn, but it doesn't, because of the pace of it. Can skid on, and that's why facing, it gets to the inside of the bat. And some of the best bowlers are the ones. Nayan Doshi was a very good one here. He wasn't a leg spinner, but he was a left armer that got the ball actually coming in, which is very important. And I think some of the best spinners are the ones that cramp you in that area.
Change in the Surrey bowling attack. Reece Topley on for the final time today. Very impressive with the new ball. 1 for 18 from his first 3 overs, all in the power play. Pulled into the leg side and taken again. This time by Will Jacks. He dropped one in the previous over. Holds on to this one. Topley has his second. Somerset lose their 8th wicket. We're very nearly done here, Ali.
Well, I think we were done, an hour ago. To be honest, I think the actual target set was way beyond par, and I think Surrey have backed that performance up with the ball in the field. If you look at the difference in the way both sides are fielded, I know Will Jacks dropped a ball down there, which was a difficult catch into the sun with a player coming at him. It's very it's very easy to say, oh, well, maybe you should have caught that. But actually, when you hear someone else coming, you're kind of half thinking, is he still coming? This time he's got no one around him. He's into the shade, and it's a good, easy catch in the deep.
All the cliches applied to Surrey today. Professional, clinical.
But they need that as well. They need to put down a marker to Somerset to say, look, because a good chance you're going to find in a few weeks' time, you wouldn't be surprised if these two are in a semi-final. You'd love to see them in a final. But it's more than likely that they're going to be there at finals day.
Topley to Meredith. Peel for caught behind, but no interest from either the umpire or Dan Lawrence behind the stumps. If you're the Surrey camp after these 2 wins against Glamorgan, amazing game on Friday, and then a dominant win over table toppers Somerset today, what gives you more in the dressing room? Is it your ability to get over the line when things perhaps not have gone your way against Glamorgan, or a performance like this against the runaway leaders?
I'd say definitely this performance. I don't think, as I said, you don't expect Glamorgan necessarily to be there. I don't see Glamorgan as the winners of T20, and so for both of those games to be quite close, I don't think Surrey have really hit their straps in them. Dan Lawrence, of course, scored a phenomenal 120 the other day, and that got them over the line. But that's not going to happen every day. But to see this for me is a collective team performance. I think they've really they've hit their straps in all areas. It's professional. It's probably the best performance they've put in. They needed to do it. They're up against a good side, and they're looking to secure that home draw as well.
Get through for a quick single.
But even now, when the game is done, and it's a case of damage limitation for Somerset, that won't really bother Somerset because they're going to get a home draw as well. They've been exceptionally good throughout the competition, but both sides have only lost 3. And I think they're both in a good place. And quarter-final wise, whoever comes up against both of them will need to play very well when they have to travel away to one of these two sides.
Swing and a miss again from Meredith. Notable today that Surrey have only used 5 bowlers so far. We've seen them use 7, sometimes 8 bowlers earlier in the competition. And I suppose from a Surrey point of view as well, it's really encouraging just to see how well pretty much everyone in the Surrey attack has bowled today. Topley up top, that brilliant spell from Jamie Overton, Adam Zampa doing his thing, Curran with his variations. That's gone high, but not very far. Will Jacks is running in, and it's another excellent catch in the outfield, running forward. He had a lot of ground to cover. Topley has his 3rd wicket. The crowd finding its voice as Surrey near victory, and it would be a statement victory over the South Group leaders. Somerset 9 down.
And turning to Jack Leach, I can't see him going at the required rate here, but I think they have been superbly professional. I think they fielded well, but it's great to see Rhys Topley back. I think the last few games, coming back into the side, he's bowled with real purpose, hit the wicket well, given very little width. They bowled exactly where they want to bowl with the field that they want. So in the end, it's been a procession.
So Rhys Topley finishes with figures of 4 overs, 3 for 20. Chris Jordan on from the pavilion end, bowling to Lewis Goldsworthy. 1 wicket to get for Surrey. And yeah, Jordan, the one Surrey bowler to be expensive today, but he came up against some brilliant power play batting from Tom Kohler-Cadmore. And he's been the standout Surrey seamer in the competition so far, so no real worries there. I guess the oddity of this competition, Ali, is that we have this enormous gap between the end of the group stage and the knockouts. So any momentum you have in mid-July, out the window come early September.
It is all about momentum, and bearing in mind that Ben Folkes has gone off with a bit of an injury, I think you probably, not that you'd necessarily go with Ben Folkes anyway, because you could easily go with any of the other keepers, but to see him go off an injury is a bit of a worry for Surrey, probably the only downside, I would say. But it is all about momentum. Sometimes you get into a really good groove and you play really well. Surrey started the competition very slowly. Could have lost 3 out of the first 4, then suddenly got on a good run, started to play with more confidence, and you really felt they've got over the line with some brilliant individual performances. But this, for me, is the best team performance they've put in so far, and it cements the home quarter-final, and which you'd say they'd be comfortable favourites for, but doesn't mean they definitely get to finals day. But I really like the performances that they're putting in. I think they're full of energy. The players are playing really well. They're responding to Sam as captain, and they look like they've got a really good shout for the competition.
Jordan into Jack Leach. That's beaten him for pace again. 87.6 mph. Jordan and Jamie Overton today bowled with real pace.
I mean, they've got that, haven't they, in their armoury? They've got good pace. They've got variation from Sam Curran, TC if required, and of course they've got Zampa. So they've got all sorts of bases covered. We haven't even seen the likes of Will Jacks today, but they do have a lot of options, and they haven't needed them all today.
Leach going for the quick single. Been very, very close. If Sam Curran hit with that shy. But again, quick from Jordan, 86.5 mph. I sort of think sometimes at this stage of the game, Ali, just get the slips in.
Well, look, you'd love to see the umbrella field, wouldn't you? Maybe 3 slips, the gully, I don't think that's the way forward. They're not going to do that come a quarter-final, semi-final. They want to do it ruthlessly. I'm sure CJ would like to hit the stumps and finish this off to get a wicket in probably what will be his last 2 balls. But I'm not sure we need the 3 slips and 2 gullies just yet.
Oh, that would have been a stunner. We've seen some pretty special things from Chris Jordan in the field over the years, and that would have been right up there.
Funny enough, I thought he had the speed. He had the speed to get there, and then just came up a fraction short. But I mean, he was very athletic to get there. Just didn't quite take it in the end.
Yeah, judging from his reaction, he knows just how close he was.
I love the fact that we could have finished it with a Sam Curran one-handed pick up and run out, or a spectacular caught and bowled, which would be a perfect way to finish.
Yeah, they've been right on it in the field throughout here, Surrey. Driven straight to short cover. Just 2 runs from that Chris Jordan over Somerset. 1-2-6 for 9 after 18. We've got to the point in the game, Ali, where the scoreboard has given up giving you the exact required run rate. It's just 36 plus runs and over.
Yeah, the Duckworth Lewis has gone. But in truth, even 170 would have been a good score. So it's exactly what you want from a batting side. You want to be 30 over par, just to give your fielders a little bit of leeway. They've done exactly that, and they've been on it right from ball 1.
Skipper Sam Curran on at the Vauxhall end into Leach. Leach gives himself room and he finds a boundary. That's an excellent shot from Jack Leach.
It is a good shot.
Pace off from Sam Curran. Jack Leach gave himself a bit of room. Waited for the ball, got it over the man at backward point. I think is Reece Topley, so you're doing well.
4 and the run rate's gone up.
Yes. It's another crisp strike from Jack Leach, but finds the fielder in the deep this time.
But Surrey would be very pleased to get this done now. If this had gone the other way, you'd still say they've got 2 games. They've got Sussex away, I think, and Middlesex away, which you'd expect them to get done. But a home quarter-final is massive. A full house here is exactly what they want. And then if they can get that over the line, finals day, they're 2 games away from, something that they've yearned for almost 23 years, I think.
Pulled into the leg side. Well fielded by Will Jacks in the outfield. They have been very professional today. Surrey maintaining high standards throughout.
I think in terms of byes, no balls, wides, misfields, Surrey have gained 25 to 30 in that area alone, which is very surprising for a side, Somerset, who are top of the group. But I don't know why it was they weren't in quite such a good place today. It's very unlike them. But as I said, Surrey didn't let them settle. I thought that opening partnership of 50 was very important, and just put them on the back foot.
How important is home advantage in a quarter-final?
Massively important. You'll have a full house here, and that that is a huge thing. If you have an away quarter-final, you're travelling, you've got about a 9-hour round trip to potentially Lancashire or Durham or something like that. It could be up there, and of course you don't need that time in the car to get to a wicket that would favour the home side more. You know, it's probably an even wicket, but it'll certainly would favour the home side more than the away.
Hit hard down the ground. Direct hit from Jason Roy. Umpire unmoved.
He's given it. Fortunately, Jason's given it, and not the umpire.
It was hit really hard. Sam Curran inspecting his hand. And again, good piece of fielding from Jason Roy. Have a look at the replay here. How close was it? Very, very close. Again, one of those where I think if this was a televised international, we'd be pouring over the slow-mo replays from every possible angle. But I think live, not out's a fair enough decision.
I think that's a fair decision.
Pace off from Curran.
46?
50 mph from Sam Curran on this occasion. It ends an excellent spell from the Surrey skipper. 4 overs, 2 for 27. Somerset 133 for 9. 6 balls remaining. An unlikely 69 runs required from the final over. Chris Jordan to bowl it. It's one of my favourite weeks in the cricket calendar, the Blast quarter-final week, because wherever the quarter-finals are held, it's going to be 4 sellouts, and you really sense how much it means to the home fans as well, so the atmosphere is great.
Well, we had one here. I mean, 2005 was the year I captained the Surrey side, and our home quarter-final, I think, was against Warwickshire, and ended up being a bowl-out. Oh, not a bowl, yes, because we tied, I think, the game. No one wants to see that.
Jordan to Jack Leach.
Umpires didn't help us in that game either, because I said how many runs they needed off the last ball, and they said 3, and they got 2, and then we thought we'd won, and then they came into our dressing room and said, oh, sorry, we made a mistake, it's a tie, now you need to have a bowl out. So, which didn't go down very well, but we did win it. And we did get through to finals, though.
Was that something you could have prepared for? Were there any chats about what we're going to do in the bowl out before?
The umpire giving me the wrong decision, the wrong information. No, and you know, it's quite funny in the bowl outs that we had. Trying to pick your bowl out team is just not, oh, we're going to go with the 5 bowlers. I mean, Martin Bicknell, who was 1,000 first-class wickets, outstanding outside off stump, absolutely hopeless in a bowl out.
That's fast from Jordan. Goldsworthy beaten for pace, 87.4 mph.
Bicknell bowling at the stumps was just no good, because he just bowled a lovely fourth stump line that swung away, shaped away nicely. So at no point, you know, I would probably have been better just trying to bowl darts at middle stump. But Tony Murphy was probably the best we had in a bowl out. But we had some very good bowlers that couldn't quite adapt from their default line and length for first class cricket.
Pulled into the air to the long boundary. Jamie Overton underneath it, takes the catch, and the game is Surrey. Somerset bowled out for 134. Surrey victors by 67 runs. A thoroughly professional performance, and one that secures Surrey not just a quarter-final spot, a home quarter-final spot. Ali Brown, brilliant performance from start to finish for the home side.
Yeah, right from the get-go. I mean, the power play, I think 50 for 0 off the first 5 overs was a great start for Surrey when threatened by Riley Meredith, and I thought they played him well in what was a difficult opening start. Will Jacks, fantastic 50 up top, which was very impressive. Hit early on the back elbow, but played a really good innings. And of course, Jason Roy, a very good 32 in there. Same with Dan Lawrence. And really, they were way ahead of the game at that stage. At no point did they ever give anything back to Somerset. I think they were well ahead. It's the best performance I think they put in the group stage against probably the best team. And in the field, I thought they were outstanding. Bowling wise, gave no real width. There were not too many wides, or certainly no balls in that area, and that's exactly where Somerset did give Surrey the upper hand. Very professional in front of the home fans, and I think also putting out that message that actually Surrey are here to play. And it's great to go into when you may potentially play Somerset next, assuming they were to get through their quarter-final. That's exactly what they would want. I thought they were brilliant tonight.
Real statement victory over Somerset, who've been the form side in the competition up to today. Surrey fans were spoilt on Friday night. One of the great T20 Blast comebacks, one of the great T20 Blast innings from Dan Lawrence to get them over the line, improbably against Glamorgan, but a very different and, as we talked about earlier, possibly more satisfying victory today against a Somerset side who many people fancy for the Blast title this year. Utterly dominant from start to finish, getting a score in excess of 200 on a pitch where early on we were looking at 165, 170 as par, to get well above that par score and then keep Somerset at bay. A really, really strong Somerset batting lineup, never really in the contest, able to take wickets throughout. Next up, we have an interview with one of the Surrey victors today. He's chatting.
The boys with a comprehensive win to make it 2 from 2 on this Vitality Blast doubleheader here at the Kia Oval. I'm with Adam Zampa, fresh from his 2 for 28. Zamps, a pretty good way to sign off your initial stay with Surrey this summer.
Yeah, mate, we're really happy with that one. Coming off a couple of wins that we weren't quite happy with, the way we went about a few parts of our game. And we right those today. So, the boys, the way they started in the power play with the ball, obviously getting 200 was a great effort, but we saw the other night that it's still a gettable total if you don't bowl well. So, the way the boys bowled in the power play and, just tighten the screws in Somerset was very impressive.
And, of course, playing the league leaders at the back end of the group stage, it's a pretty big statement to win by such a big margin.
Yeah, definitely. Somerset are always very strong in this competition. They've got a great team, so it was a great way to test ourselves, and you're right, towards the back end of the tournament. So, yeah, we're happy with that one.
Looking ahead, of course, that means that win tonight means that Surrey have booked their place in the quarterfinals. I think even more than that, they've secured a home quarterfinal. Any chance we'll see you for that one? And what about finals day if we get there?
You will, mate. I'll be here.
He's here, everybody. Brilliant stuff. And just going back to Will Jacks's innings there, showed why he's such a quality player and, of course, why he's had such a good tournament.
Yeah, I mean, Jacksy's done it for a number of years now. The way he starts in the power play sums up the match scenario and takes down bowlers that he can take down. He's been doing it for a while now, and he loves playing here as well, so suits him well. And yeah, he's one of the best in the competition, if not the world, at what he does.
And of course, this was your last game in the group stage. Great to hear you'll be back for that knockout game and hopefully knockout games. What have you made of your short time with Surrey?
Yeah, I've loved it. Obviously, having an affiliation with the Oval for a few years now. I love playing here, and fairly similar change room to that team. It's always good fun, good vibe. Yeah, I love playing here. Love being in South London. It's always an enjoyable experience for me.
Well, we've loved having you, Zamps. You've been brilliant, and we can't wait to see you back in early September for that home quarter-final. Adam Zampa, everybody. So there you go. You heard it here first. Zamps will be back for the home quarter-final in the Vitality Blast in early September. We hope you will be too.
2 for 28 from 4 overs for Adam Zampa today. World-class operator with his leg spin. Big part of why Surrey have got over the line and secured that home quarter-final spot with 2 games to go. And I think as well announcing that he will be available for that home quarter-final in a couple of months' time. There's the final analysis. Surrey victors by 67 runs. That is everything from our team here today, from Alistair Brown, myself, Rana, Phil Walker, the whole production team who've put on all the games here at the Kia Oval in the Blast so far. That's it from us, not just today, but this season. You'll be in the safe hands of those at Sky Sports for that home quarter-final in September. Thanks for watching us throughout the season. We'll be back for the Women's Blast Finals Day here at the Kia Oval on Sunday, July 27th, and all the County Championship action. Surrey well in the hunt for a 4th consecutive championship. Cheers for joining us. See you next time.